Good afternoon, good evening, and good day. Good morning to those of you on the West Coast. Let's get this thing started a little bit late. I'm a little bit further from the camera slash screen, so I might be squinting more than normal. There's a toddler underneath the wheels of my chair, so I can't get any closer to the screen. Thankfully, we've got this, $20 microphone arm to keep the microphone in my face. Because if this thing was still on the arm, it would be way out of the cone. Okay, so I've got the notebook. There's actually items in the notebook. Oh, and Anders is in the chat. He was also the first one in the space. Good evening from Stockholm, Sweden. There we are. And let me switch to the right page of the notebook because right now it's on my my Linux palette. The commands I use for my weird stuff that I don't ever remember the syntax to. On the screen right now is the USB over IP that I use for the home controllers. I put them on a Raspberry Pi so that the home OS can rotate between servers should there be any long maintenance or anything. Because if the radios are not plugged directly into it and it's not running anything special, it can roam between the hosts and then just pick up the USB ports where it goes. So why not just put the server on the Pi? I don't feel like going through SD cards or getting anything special to make the Pi work with more durable storage than the SD cards. For the amount of logging and stuff that thing does, it chews through a couple SD cards a year. So rather than do that, I just put it on a real computer. Anders says, "Good morning, X video." Yes, finally got the X video going. The space was going a little bit earlier, and let's turn the page on the notebook now that I've found the button. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 entries in the notebook. I need to rotate myself so that the servers aren't in plane with me. I hear a little bit of hum and like as I stop speaking, there's a little dish in the audio, and well, like I said, I'm gonna have to adjust that without running over the child and make sure I can still see the screen and you guys can still hear me. How's this? Let's raise this up a little bit, I guess. All right, there we go. So first up, we've got... I did kind of chunk them into somewhat of an order. It's just a little bit of a theme. Let's see. Let's start with... This one is not related to anything else for the day, so let's start with this guy. We're going to copy link, paste this into this new window, paste and go. And while everything else for the week, besides this item, is very, very Tesla related, they're not exclusively Tesla for most of them. So let's see. This one is about BYD, and let's do a screen share with you guys. I'm going to go to share, not background audio, screen. I'm kind of like leaned over forward so I can get closer to you guys. Let's see. Yes? How can I help you down there? What's up? Yeah, why are you down there? Want your unicorns?
No.
You don't want your unicorns? Okay. Right here. There you go. Hey, what?
What about here?
So you can hear. All right, so let's see. Oh, seriously, the Safari permissions, not Safari, I'm not using Safari. The Apple permissions garbage, I forget that it's on a delay. So it won't bother you all the time, but it'll bother you a couple times a month. Or is it once a month? I don't know. But here we are. The browser's got what it needs, but yet it doesn't. Let's see if I click on the tab if it'll still show it to me. And that's another weird thing. Like, why can't the browser share its own stuff? Like, where's the harm in that? I guess if it wanted to share my entire screen or the window, which it seems to be doing just fine anyway. Interesting, interesting. So we are at, this one's from Inside EVs. My mouse is stuttering like crazy. Let's see why I've got a whole soldering iron between the mouse and the receiver. And a power supply for the soldering iron. That can't help the signal integrity. Okay, move that and it's still chugging along. Oh, I see. It's drifted behind the sound bar. Let me move the mic and reach over and do that. 1 second. So the receiver's on a hub, and the hub drifted behind the speaker, which are, giant magnets. They tend to interfere with signal, but that's not doing it either. Why are we still chugging along here? Is the computer mad at me? Not running all that much, but oh boy, it sure is doing something. What are you chewing on there, buddy? Windows Server, but that on a Mac, if you close Windows Server, you have no screen anymore. Main browser, renderer. I could probably do something with that. Adobe flashed for a second, but I think that was just like an update check. The battery monitor is using a heck of a lot of resources. Let's close it and open it back up. Can you what?
Can you help me draw a circle with that?
Help you draw a circle?
No, I didn't.
You already know how to draw a circle.
I don't know how.
You don't know how to draw a circle?
No.
Since this morning? Okay. All right, like I said, close the battery monitor and open it back up. It's not just a battery, but that's what I'm looking at when I have it up on the screen. So apparently close doesn't close it. So let's right click, quit. There we go. Open it back up again. Uh-oh. I don't want to look at a rabbit. I want to look at my X space. There we go. Oh, we got Matthew is in the chat. Let's go ahead and allow him in here. The interface is a little different on the tablet, just a little bit. All right. Good morning, Matthew. Okay, so
Did you figure everything out? It sounds like you were having a hard time. So.
just a slow start to the day. Normally, I have clicked through a lot of this before I hit the microphone open button, but right now the mouse was all stuttery, and so the browser is obviously eating a lot of it. But I went ahead and closed down the home battery monitor and opened it back up. That freed up some resources. I guess leaving it online for a week is not healthy for the computer.
Okay, gotcha. So it's all sorted out.
It's all sorted now.
Fine.
So I'm going to click this
Nice.
share button and then
Fancy.
fix the screen, and we'll talk about some topics today. All right, I'm gonna fix the display.
Topics.
Yeah, they've got me all in the corner like on a multi-host show. There we go. What's that, baby? You want to get out? Hold on, let me try my video here.
I draw it.
Want me to teach you how to draw a circle?
Yeah, monkey.
I mean, I think you know how to draw a circle.
It should be about your kids, obviously. Like just spend time with your kids and don't waste time with random people on the internet. Yeah. Your kids sound amazing.
Thank you,
Just
thank
spend
you.
time with your kids, bro.
Yeah,
You know,
she was
do
enjoying
that.
her little color time down under my desk. I don't know why she didn't want to color on the on my lap or anything like she usually does, but she's going to get mommy to help her draw a circle. She doesn't like. I challenge her to do like if I know she can do something, I challenge her to do it. I mean, I'll help you learn how and get the resources you need, but I'm not going to be there forever. I need you to. I mean, I know you're only 3, but I also know you know how to draw a circle already. So we'll pick out the markers if you need, but I'm not going to draw the circle for you. So,
No, I'm telling you, like, shut down this thing and just hang out with your kids. Like, please do that. Just
they'll be back, and I'll spend
like
some more time with her.
that would like make my soul happy if he did that. If she said, "Fuck
Definitely,
this, what I'm doing," and just I want to hang out with my kids. Please do that.
I
Please
will.
do
I will.
that.
Certainly will.
All right. All
Yeah.
right. Thank you.
So let's see. I've only got, like I said, I've only got about 7 topics already pre-selected. So, like I said, it will be pretty swift today, and then we'll be back with the kiddos, and then I've got to get an essay written before tomorrow. Oof. Lee, happy Sunday. Good to see you. And Timothy, greetings. Good to see everybody today. My shirt buttoned up. Yep. Take a little swig of this drink, and we're going to start talking about BYD. So, like I said, this is the only one that's not car related. And the rest all come from a Tesla angle, but they're not all Tesla related. So, we're going to do that. We've got BYD's new electric bus that can keep things in check during a tire blowout. As somebody who's been through, let's see, had one with Grandpa, 2 on the Prius, 1 on this car. So 4 active explosive blowouts that I can recall right offhand, and a couple of slow and quick flats on various other cars, including the Volt and the Model S, and the second Volt, and both Civic hybrids, and the Nissan truck. I still can't believe that truck didn't have a name. Like in 1995, they were already naming cars. This one was just truck. The idea of something to assist with a blowout was kind of appealing to me, and amazingly, all of my blowouts have been on non-steer tires. So that has been a blessing. It's a lot easier to keep things under control when you have to blow out on a non-steering tire, because the steering tires are in the front and they kind of tend to want to keep it doing its thing. I'm curious how it will behave once I get 4-wheel steering, but I'm not there yet. So BYD's new electric bus can keep things in check during a tire blowout. The new e-bus platform 3.0 is much more impressive than that, though, with a 1,000 volt battery and trick suspension. Let's take a look at that. China's BYD has just upped the ante in the electric bus game with its new e-bus platform 3.0, which brings a lot of cool technology and from the passenger car sector. On the battery side, we've got the Blade lithium iron phosphate battery tech (LFPs) integrated directly into the chassis using the so-called cell-to-chassis technology. Oh, this is amazing. We heard a lot about cell-to-chassis with Volvo years ago. So Volvo was talking cell-to-chassis, and then they also showed off a patent about how the paint could be a cell. And then people went wild from there, and I was like, oh, okay, this is some pie in the sky stuff we won't see for a long time. It's been about 10 years now, so cell to chassis technology. Look at that. I'm curious if they've got a photo of like the X-ray exploded view of how they expect this to look. 'Cause if it's anything like that, then hey, look at that. Stuff does happen as they promise. Was it 10 years ago? No, it was more than 10 years ago, because It was just the Model S was out. The X wasn't out yet. Was even the S out? Yeah, because I had a Volt at the time. I don't remember if it was the silver one or the red one. So 1,000 volt architecture, that's not unheard of in a truck or a car these days. So it's good to see it happen on the buses instead of them being stuck at 300 and 400 volts. I'm going to minimize this processes here because now that the system is working, it flickering in the corner of my eye is not healthy. All right, so then we're going to do this next paragraph. The bus is based on the new platform, the C11, available in China with 5 capacity options. All right, 184 kilowatt hours. That's good for it's a nice route. All the way up to 595 kilowatt hours. Sorry, 593 kilowatt hours. There we go. That one is the one that interests me because it's trivial to get a circular bus going, but to get a tour bus going, you're gonna need some batteries. And when we were looking at the last set of battery buses here on the channel, they were around 300 to 500, almost 600 kilowatt hours to be able to do the intercity routes. And we had the one that was doing, 4 hours of DC fast charging to complete, but that's not too bad if you've got a tour of like a whole city, like a school field trip. So you're gonna go see Washington DC, for instance. It's a popular field trip from my youth, just because of how close we were. But no, not just how well. Yes and no. I went to school up and down the East Coast, so it was always a popular field trip. But the ones that weren't right up on it, because we had some that were just right out there in the exurbs, and anyway, you would take your little trip to the just again, let's use DC. I take the trip, and then the bus would drop you off, and it can't park where you are, so it would leave. So it could leave and go DC fast charge. And then if you had a multi-hop trip, it could come back and move you, and then go back and charge some more. But generally, after riding in the bus for several hours, you would spend several hours at your destination. So 4 hours wasn't ridiculous for many tours. All right, we're at 90% on the battery. I'm going to check that again in a little bit because we're pulling in 600 watts into the emergency solar, which means that the one on the roof must be doing really well. I need to look for my smallest Raspberry Pi. I found the USB OTG for the Pi Zero. So it's got a micro USB here, and it's got a USB-A here. So then I can attach a... It's a gigabit NIC, but I don't need it to be gigabit. I only need a NIC. 10100 would probably do the trick. I don't know if I have any of those. I have a bunch of gigabit NICs. Plug it in, and then I guess rebroadcast the wireless signal, bridge the wireless to that Ethernet connection, and then that will put the solar controller back on the local network, because right now it's on my emergency travel router, and that, because it runs so hot, you have to take the battery out of it if you're going to just leave it. And with that, sometimes it doesn't always turn all the way on, and so the solar controller for the building there is collecting the data and sometimes it can get on the Wi-Fi, sometimes it can't. I don't know why it has its trouble just reaching the Wi-Fi on its own. Because everything checks out. The signal's there, it starts up fine, but I'm not going to argue with it. But since when I take this room off of the grid, that also removes it from the power line networking, and with the power line networking gone, the solar controller can't do its job. But in the room it's in, is unable to end up on battery, and so I'm going to do bridge the Wi-Fi to the local internet. Sorry, bridge the Wi-Fi to Ethernet, and I think that'll allow it to go live, and then I can know what the building is up to. In fact, let's open to the phone and see when it last reported in. Because it might be live right now. We had a power cut the other day, which would either make it worse or make it better. And I don't know which. Let's go house, and let's go... There they are. It's spinning, it's spinning. It's probably logged me out. It did. Sign in. Gateway not reporting. Last report was July 14th. It had 0 kilowatts with a peak power of 2.1 kilowatts, which means, to me, that July 14th was either a partial report or July 14th was a rainy day. July 14th, it made 3.1 kilowatt hours, which was 99% more than the previous day. It tells me it was a rainy week, even if July 14th was a partial day. Let's see. Oh, now the app is frozen. It should scroll even if it's not telling me anything. Okay, so it stopped at 9 a.m. Definitely a partial day. So let's compare it to July 13th. July 13th was a normal day. As far as it went from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. And it only made 1.2 kilowatt hours at peak. That was definitely a rainy couple days. July 14th of 24, there was no record. That's not accurate. It should go back and update itself. And let's see. Let's do gotta do week. I can do week, but it's not month. There we go. So yeah, it was a particularly rainy week because every other day that's got data was averaging about 35 to 38 kilowatt hours. I need to clean those panels. And then a low of 20 kilowatt hours. And then a low average of 22 to 28 kilowatt hours. So those would be cloudy days. Oh, I hear children. Huh? Help you walk? Oh, you want to come over here? Hold on. What are you doing with your mouth? Yeah, fish. Fish? Come on. Are you coming or not?
No, not fish.
Not a fish? Monkey? What are you doing? Come on. There you go. Mommy's trying to block all the airflow to the room, burn us up. Oh, hey, Makoto. Good morning. You're awake. You were sleeping in? I feel like sleeping in. And I can do better than that, but I don't want to have to pay for the song because I can't afford it. Huh? What am I doing? Oh, Makoto jumped up here.
And what time on my iPad?
The time on your iPad is 2:19 in the afternoon. Yeah, mine would say 14:19 because it's the same time, 14:19 and 2:19 p.m. Hi, baby. Why are you hitting me in the ear? It's not polite. Say hi to everybody. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Okay. Monto's gonna say hi. I'm a ladder.
Hello.
She says hello. Yes. She said your hair's in her way. Don't pull her hair. You wanna say hi? Yeah. Hi.
Hello.
Okay. Let me lock this thing back so I can talk. Where'd this thing go here? Oh, I see what happened. The microphone touched the screen. That's not healthy. Oh boy, I unlocked it too much and now it's spinning. Don't pull her hair. Let go.
Down here. Down here. Do, 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 do.
All right, back to the microphone. So we're talking about blade batteries. Oh, before we're talking about blade batteries, we're talking about kilowatt hours. And I ended up on the solar. Yes, so that'll be good for a couple hours of driving in a row, probably about 200, 300 miles, which is not bad, especially if we can increase the charge rate. Because on a 400 volt pack, at 400 volts, at 400 amps, it was 4 hours to charge the bus. However, at 1,000 volts of architecture and 1,000 volts of charging, hopefully it can also charge at the lower voltage stations. Because if you can't, that really puts a crimp in your travels, as we saw with Lucid and Hyundai. What? You like that way? I try to keep the underside of the desk clean. Yes. She likes the I guess the ribbing and the way they put the desk together. Yes. So as we saw with Lucid and the Hyundai EGMP platform, you don't want to charge at a lower voltage than the system can handle, unless you have got tricks like the Cybertruck and the Hummer, and I guess the rest of the GM crew, where it splits the pack in half to go from 800 over 1,000 volts down to the 400 volt, 500 volt architecture. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, looking at 4 hours to charge at a 400 volt DC charger, you should be then looking at a 1,000 volt charger or a megawatt charger. You should be at well, I guess not even megawatt. That's 1,000 volts charger doesn't necessarily mean megawatt. It can still be 350 easily. So we were at less than 250 or at 250 prior to that to get the 4 kilowatts to get the 4 hours. So if you bump that up to just a 500 kilowatt charger, you're looking at 2 hours. And if you bump it up to megawatt, you can charge a bus in 30 minutes easily from empty. Pretty darn cool. All right, so let's look at this. Oh, and that tracks. 593 kilowatts. Charged with a megawatt. It's half a megawatt. Well, it's a little more than half a megawatt, but either way, a megawatt hour. And you run it for an hour. It's easy math. Oh, I love easy math. Okay, so On the CLTC rated range, you get 136 for the 184 kilowatt hour pack to, or that's 220 kilometers, to 453 miles or 730 kilometers on the large pack. And you might think, oh, why such a low number for such a big battery? It's still a bus, and it's not an aerodynamic bus. It's just like a snub nose, flat front, and well, you can only shape a brick so much. So you can push a brick through the air for 453 miles on the Chinese cycle with almost 600 kilowatt hours. What's up, Makito? Yeah. Oh, you being shy? Really? Tickle, tickle. Tickle, 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 tickle. Belly button. Boop. Honk. I got your nose. Oh, you want it back? You want it back? I think it looks good on me. I got a cute little button nose. You want it back? Stretch it out a little bit. I'm sorry. There's your nose back. Yeah, I got your nose back to you. Yeah. Your nose too? Oh, you covered it. Huh. What a cute little button nose. There you go. Oh, she likes that. All right, so next up we've got the wide range of battery options can cater to local transit buses. Yeah, so I was saying about the circulars are very easy to do with a smaller battery pack. Save a lot of money and resources and electricity because you don't really want to be hauling extra battery on a known route, not just for the extra expense, but also it's a lower stakes version of the rocket equation. More fuel gets you more range, more fuel costs more range to carry more fuel, and so forth. But not as bad as the rocket equation because you're not lifting it off the ground; you're just rolling it. Going the extra mile is also possible thanks to the impressive 1,000 volt rating of the high voltage batteries. First in the bus sector, I thought that did seem. I didn't know it was the first, but I thought it seemed fresh. Not that 1,000 volt was new to the industry, but it is new to buses. That would allow them to charge at ultra fast speeds. They could charge at ultra fast speeds before, but to get more than the 250 kilowatts ish max, I would have required some chunky cables because that's the real reason we're going to high voltage is to reduce our amperage, to reduce the resistance in the cables, to use thinner cables that don't heat up as fast. So while it's technically possible to do megawatt charging on 400 volt batteries, it's not something that we want to do because there's a lot of copper. A lot of copper. And heat. A lot of heat as well. Oh, you see your sister on the iPad? Where's your toys? Oh, we gave you maybe no toys? You don't have your silicone knucks? So she's got her own silicone knucks, but she likes her sister's better. So it's a good thing that her sister's done with it. You know, being a toddler toy and all. Sorry, a baby toy and all. And her being a toddler. Oh, you kicking me? Oh, you want to practice your foot strength. Okay. Your leg strength. Oh, she's doing leg presses. Leg presses. So, as I was saying, 1,000 volt architecture. Didn't know it was a world first on the buses, but that is really cool to see. I recognized that it was fresh. Did not know this was the very first one. That is cool. So BYD didn't say how much time it would take to go from 10 to 80% on the on the largest LFP pack offered in the C11 models. So that's a weird way to phrase that question. Weird thing to structure the thought in such a way for them being an EV publication. They should know that if it's the large pack should charge in about the same amount of time as the slow pack, depending on how they have structured everything. Yeah, there's chances it could be different, but with not that there's going to be much taper on batteries that large, even the small battery is gigantic. 200 kilowatt hours. What is it actually? It's just under 2. It's not 150, we said? 250? Sell the chassis. Yeah, just under 200 kilowatt hours. So 184. I don't know if that's gross or net or usable. Gross or usable. But if it can charge at 1C or higher, then you've got the taper. And then the large pack and the small pack will charge in similar amounts of time, really. The slow pack, actually, small pack might actually charge slower because if you're looking at miles recovered, the large pack can run longer before taper, so you can fit more in it. But like I said, if they can do megawatt charging, you're looking at right around 30 minutes for 10 to 80, and that's not bad. If they don't charge at megawatt charging rates, then we can use the old packs as a rule of thumb. 4 hours, right? So it's gonna be less than 4 hours because they're trying to sell you the new thing, right? So we might not know the exact numbers, but we know it's gonna be less than 4 hours. An adaptive suspension system called the Disuce. The Disuce-A? I'm not sure. Borrowed from BYD's passenger EVs, can be fitted to the buses riding on a new platform. And there's also a high-speed tire blowout stability system that can react in milliseconds to keep the bus on track during blowouts at speeds of up to 62 miles per hour or 100 kilometers per hour. And typically, outside of the U.S., buses do 100 kilometers an hour and just kind of hold it, or less. Here, though, yeah, here in the U.S., that changes because we be speeding, and unless it's a corporate policy or you're on a road where the speed limit is less than 60 miles per hour, our buses will go anywhere from 55 miles per hour to 70 miles per hour typically. And depending on the fleet and the state, 75 miles per hour might be seen. It also depends on the road. Why would you see a bus going that fast? Well, if the posted speed limit is 70 and they're allowed a little leeway to keep up with the flow of traffic, the 70 mile per hour roads will see traffic typically flowing from 75 miles per hour to 85 miles per hour. And it won't be unheard of to see a passenger bus doing 75 miles per hour, assuming that they're not under any sort of governor, like a separate buses and truck speed limit or a corporate cap or anything like that. Even when that's available, though, as the speed limits get up above 60, you won't really see the buses doing much more than 65, typically. If they can even go that fast, because obviously the older ones have trouble doing that. And not because of their any sort of lack of maintenance, but just because they weren't built to do it, like with the transmissions and such. What? I got to spin around so she can get the rest of that donut. Oh, is that you? That was you. Oh yeah, so we're talking about the blowout mitigation. Bless you. Yeah, bless you. The blowout mitigation technology is obviously the Dicey Stash A, and as long as you're going up to 62 miles per hour, it will. It doesn't say how. I was curious how because they made it sound like it would lift a leg, basically, like a dog. What's more, if something bad were to happen to the driver, the passengers can activate a one-touch stop button on the dashboard to automatically stop the bus. That's actually kind of cool. And I also hope there's an override should somebody be trying to hijack the bus, like make it stop in a particular place where it should not. Why do I immediately go there? I live in America, and we have a lot of just violence here. And so that's just where my mind goes. Like immediately, just people who would use this for bad things, even though inherently that's actually a good thing to allow people to say, hey, the driver's incapacitated, bus, take over. What would be really cool with all this like AI stuff is the passenger hits the button that the driver's incapacitated. Some sort of camera checks on them and handles basic steering and for lane keeping and pacing, verifies the condition, and either calls the bus company or, depending on how capable the system is, safely pulls the bus over to the shoulder, if there is a shoulder, or stops it in the lane if it's not sure what's going on over on the shoulder. Activates the flashers, and like I said, brings it safely to a stop. This implementation here, as described, perfectly serviceable. I just immediately thought of bad things because that's what we've been conditioned to do. It's sad. Anyway, the feature called Driver Disability Assistance 2.0, Driver Disability Assistance System 2.0, so DDAS 2.0 is exclusive to this new platform and can safely bring the bus to a halt without the driver input, according to BYD.
Yeah. Oh, you're biting my finger. Marco bit my finger. That hurt, Marco. That really hurt, Marco. Marco bit my finger.
It's our favorite YouTube video is Charlie bit my finger.
You know when your teeth finish growing in, you're not gonna be allowed to do this anymore. I'm gonna take my hand back every time you try to bite me. Yeah, I will. Huh?
All right, that's a lot of tech crammed into a vehicle that has traditionally been regarded as the simple bare bones box. I'm gonna add word box to what they wrote there. And more importantly, it could make its way to the United States. I would hope it would, because BYD makes buses here. While BYD is currently selling precisely 0 passenger EVs stateside, the Chinese giant has been building battery-powered buses and pickup trucks in California since 2013. I didn't realize they... Okay. Yeah, I guess I knew that, but I didn't remember it. Because it was BYD and Proterra. And Proterra was not in California. They were, Oregon, Washington? There we go. Or at least their battery plant was.
You got your own thumbs. Why are you sucking mine?
So it's not that far-fetched to think that the fancy new suspension system and high-voltage battery setup would make their way into the transit bus that takes you to work every day. I would think this would be a differentiator for them, and so yeah, they would definitely want to move this tech stateside after they test it out. Nobody's commented on this. It's been up for a couple days. It was the first item in my notebook. Do you want to start the conversation? I don't know. What do you guys think out there? Anders, what would you think about this bus? I think that the combination of the bigger new tech batteries is a good thing, and then I'm also interested in the driver disabled system as well as the blowout mitigation. I hope they have a video demo of this at some point. In fact, before I go to the next item on the list, I'm distracted now by the bright drop here and this lady with the headline cut off. So I'm gonna click on this in a new window so I don't get totally off the rails. And I'm gonna type in BYD Bus 3.0. BYD Bus 3.0. Let's see if we can't get any pictures of the cells to the chassis, or any of the ADAS stuff, or the blowout mitigation. All right, so we got another article on them, which appears to be from the same event. Excuse me. Same photos as the Inside EVs article. And oh, we got the size of the other packs though. 184 base, 257 kilowatt hours, 311 kilowatt hours, 425 kilowatt hours, and then the 593 kilowatt hours max that we saw. So they have probably gone the way of modules, but knowing the other sizes, we should be able to figure out how big most of their modules are, though. So from 593 minus 425, we get 168, and 425 minus 311 is 114. So this must be the usable kilowatt hours, because the buffer might be in percentages and not in it might be of the total pack and not of the modules. So 425 minus 311 is 114. So roughly 100 kilowatt hour modules. But it's a chassis, so it might be sections of the chassis, and they just can just fit that much more in there. So why are you spitting, child?
Oh, you're sucking your own thumb and spitting at me? Yeah? Yeah.
All right, so we've got 311 minus 257 is 54 or 64. It's tiny. I'm gonna say 54. That's not just modules then. Hold on, let me do this camera so this child can leave. I hear you. Hold on a second. You're not trapped. Hold on. The green screen's been pressed up against my back, so I can't really lean the chair back. And then the table that they like to put my food on blocks the children from kind of just wandering in and out, because on the other side of the table that they put the food on, they piled my computer gear so they can't get past it. And then further up, there's a trash can and a footrest. And a cadenza or shelf or something. So, but it's solid. So she can't just go around the other way. Where were we? Oh, Andrews has a comment here. We have electric buses here in Stockholm, and they can charge at the final stop. However, they only operate in urban environments. That makes sense. Yes, baby. What? What's up? Oh, you didn't think anybody heard you making noise? Yeah, they're headphones, not earmuffs. Yeah. That makes sense though, because like I was saying before, if you know your routes and you run a set route or sets of routes, you know what you need from your buses, and you can handle a smaller pack, unless you have large routes or they change a lot. And then you can charge at the end or at the end of the day, depending on what you need. And most of the municipalities I've seen that have electric buses don't all have the roof mounted blade quick charge situation. So that makes some sense to me that they would just charge at the end. And then keeping them in the city, I don't know if that's a requirement. I know that most of the ones I've seen are the same way. I don't know if it's because they went with all small packs or if they're just trying to get used to the technology. So that makes it interesting right there that they've gone that route. Because you get your neighbors there over at Norway. Not that you guys don't have a lot of electrification yourselves, but at their percentage of electrification, what was it, like 99, 98%, 95%? It's crazy high. It's very easy to look at them and study them and not have to do all the research yourself. Huh? Yes. Oh, really? You want some headphones so you can hear what you sound like? Okay. Say hello again. Say hello again. Say hi. Yeah, that's you. Yeah, hi, Microphone. All right, so I've got a second microphone, and I've got another Phantom Power input. We can get you your own microphone next week, huh? It's in the drawer over there, but I gotta find a cable to plug it in with. So you can't use it this week, even if I gotta fix it up. Yeah. Okay. My turn. Raspberries? Nobody gives me the raspberries. Is your first word that's not milk or half a mommy gonna be on recording? That would be really cool. You wanna say hi? Say hi, everybody. Say hi. Hi. All right, DJ Skittles. We were talking about buses in Sweden, electric buses. You have any comment on that? Oh, you like it? Yeah, electric buses are cool, aren't they? You want a piece of your sister's donut? She left it unattended. Okay, but you can't eat and talk, so chew that while I talk. Oh boy. She's so excited. All right, so we determined that the battery module or the battery size between the packs is not. I don't want to say it's not logical. It's linear. That's probably safer to say it's not linear. All right, so you guys aren't even on the page I'm on. So let's try one more time. Go back to where you are on the search and see if anybody's got any more pictures or video of the cell to structure or the any of the ADAS features. Let's see. So they've got these what appear to be electric vans for sale, and then there's this. These three buses, four buses. Okay, I'm going to click on them. I doubt any of them are electric, but if they are, this could get interesting. Oh, punch him in the ear. All right, so here's a video of the BYD. Is it the 3.0? Yes, it is. And then there's the press conference. So we'll open both of those and mute them, and we'll take a look. Don't blow raspberries at my jelly donut. And we'll try this article here. We'll try this article here. Ma'am. Okay, that's enough chocolate for you after this, okay? Oh, you like that, huh? Okay, yeah, we'll try this one first. Share this tab instead. Ooh, that text, I can't see any of that text. Let's go ahead and zoom it in. Oh, really? Really? You got donut spit on me. Oh, you put more donut spit on me. I'm a napkin. I'm a human napkin. Oh, we got comments on this one now. Impressive. This is like a GT bus but smooth carpet tuned with a highly engineered spec like the BYD Hyper GT EV. Yeah, basically based on their car and as a bus. The Daisus A electronic dampers. Okay, so that came from the car too, and they just beefed it up. Tire blowout stability, 1500 volt chips. Oh, that's kind of cool. So the power electronics can handle 1500 volts, and the battery is a 1000 volt battery. So there's actually room to expand on this thing without having to rev it. They just put a different battery in it. For the tire blowout stability, it's a game changer for the heavy vehicle industry. BYD the best. Yes, baby. You got a donut on your face. All right, so rather than close this tab, I need to move to another tab before letting it close the window entirely. So that first one is already sold. Listing's been removed. Maybe it was too cheap. Second one, listing removed. Third one, listing removed. Fourth one, listing removed. Okay, but I don't like autoplay. It looks like the guy just talks over the backdrop that we saw, the 1000 volts. So don't need to worry about that one. I'm not saying it's not useful. I'm just saying that we're already kind of doing that. All right, so share this tab instead. Close that one. And okay, this might be the cell to structure.
a platform specifically designed for fully electric buses. The platform incorporates numerous new industry technologies, including E-Platform, Union A, and the TBC high-speed tire puncture stabilization system. The BYD C11 is the first commercial vehicle to utilize this platform.
Yes, it is. So they went to the show, or at least got footage from the show. Let's give it a letter M. Let's see. Okay, we got their crash testing. Got the, I guess the tuning. Yeah. Oh wow, that looks luxurious inside. Look at that. All right. So they must have a variety of options from transit to coach. Because to put this on a transit bus, well, nice, would probably only really check out for like a commuter bus. You probably wouldn't want this as your city circular. You'd probably want something a little more cheap and rugged and cheap. Okay, look at that. Oh, I guess it's a double decker. Okay, so yeah, it does come in several options. That's fine. Oh, I have missed some comments. I'm sorry, Anders. The Stockholm. The Stockholm Walk Traffic SL has the ambitious plan to introduce electric buses throughout the country, and the goal is for all SIL buses to be electric by 2035. Excellent. So just in time for the goal for most countries. Because everybody was doing 2040, and then everybody moved up to 2035, except Saudi Arabia. They came in at 2050 when everybody went to 2035, and then Norway moved up to 2030, and they basically are already there, and then Ethiopia went 100%. What, last year? Year before? And then, as Brian told us, Nepal also went 100%. He also told us, just like Ethiopia, they had a little easier go of it than everybody else because they didn't have any oil to worry about, and their infrastructure is kind of limited. That's cool. So they're going to do it right on schedule, and that's kind of what you want to see because these are expensive vehicles. I got a quote on one, and it was $2.4 million for a coach with no options. Regular coaches, 250 to 450,000, depending on how you equip them. Several large areas, such as Stockholm's inner city and Lingdo, as well as, I'm sorry, I'm killing your city names here. I can't even take a stab at that one. I'm gonna try. They're so small. Bingo. Defalia. I can't see. I see a lot of consonants and vowels, but they're so tiny on my screen. Saturday. What, baby? What? Oh, you see, your sister left her pizza on my table. She's gonna learn to leave food with you, right? She's gonna learn to leave food with you. Get a little bit of that only child syndrome. She can set some food down and think you'll be there when she gets back. She's gonna learn. My wife and I were disabused of that notion really early on because our close siblings are really close to us, under a year in her case and a couple in mine. So I think me and my brother are about as far apart as Moto and Mako. Can I interest you in a napkin? You got chocolate on your cheek, all on the side of your mouth. You want some more chocolate? Yeah. All right, that's all the chocolate for today, okay? Yeah, you like chocolate donuts? Yeah, I like chocolate donuts too. Mm. Okay. Which means that half of the bus fleet will be electric. So that's going to be even before the schedule. Okay. Then Anders says that this transition requires extensive adaptations of the bus depots and terminals to install the necessary charging infrastructure. Absolutely. The good thing is, as long as they had some electricity going to the building, it's pretty straightforward for them to beef everything up and put more infrastructure in it, versus if they had basically just like covered barns and like maybe some pits that they would do the mechanic work in. I don't know if they were like air conditioned and heated and all that. I'm assuming they were heated because it gets kind of cold there, right? But it doesn't necessarily mean that they were air conditioned, because that is a new phenomenon at a lot of the trades. Oh, you tell them. What are we talking to them? Say what you need to say. Okay, well, we're talking about electric buses. What? What's up? Can I interest you in a face wipe? A napkin for your. Oh. You can only put your finger. You can only put your finger so far down your mouth, baby. You choke. Mom. I think she's in the shower or something. Why do you think she gave me the double handoff? You sleepy? You sleepy? I'm not a napkin. I offered you a napkin and you wiped on me. On my white shirt. What, baby? What? You sleepy? Yeah. You sleepy? I'm soft. Look at this fat belly. Look at this fat belly. Here. I can't play music for you right now because the music is not allowed on the. Mom. She'll be back. Yeah, just close your eyes. Close your eyes. You feel better. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Well, I was your size. I put my ear on my daddy's chest. I listen to his heartbeat. Yeah. You wanna try it? Yeah. I'm still not a napkin. I don't appreciate that. I offered you a real napkin. Here. There you go. Even though you got most of it on my shirt already. Here you go. Napkin. Yeah. It's full of pizza. You want the pizza? Your sister can be mad if I give you her pizza. Here, let me break off a little piece of this for you. Let's see. Whoa! Don't jump. Oh, that's too big a piece. That's too big a piece. Here, some pizza crust. Yeah, chew it. Do you like pizza? Yeah. Oh, you called her. There she is. There's mommy. You want to say goodbye? Goodbye? That's not quite goodbye, but yes. All right, then she's off to enjoy her nap. All right. Night night, sweetie. Enjoy your nap. Yeah. Have a good nap. I'll see you when you wake up. Yeah? Yeah, I'll probably be done before you wake up. Yeah. Have fun. Sweet dreams. All right. I don't want to change the title of the show. There we go. So this requires, yes. So I'm curious, because if they don't want to shut down any particular depots, they're going to have to do it slowly, like one section of the building at a time. Interesting. They do have their work cut out for them. Okay, now that my hands are no longer encumbered, get some hydration. I see you there, Adam. Let's take a quick look here. All right, got a blank profile. Let's or protected profile. Let's let you in and see what we're going to talk about here. Hello, Adam. We are finishing up a discussion on electric buses before we go on to the electric cars. How are you this evening? Morning? Afternoon?
Hello.
How are you doing?
Good. What are you guys up to?
We just finished talking about the BYD 3.0 bus platform with the cell to chassis and the driver
Are
incapacitation.
you broadcasting out to
Yes,
the world?
I am.
How many people?
That's a good question. I don't even know where to look. I got so many screens up right now.
Where is it broadcast? Like what region of the world?
We are. I'm Eastern U.S. right now, and we've got folks as far as Sweden and Canada, and the rest of it's obviously U.S.
That's crazy.
It has pretty fun stuff.
Well, that's fun.
It is.
Kind of stumbled in here.
Yeah. Oh, there's Anders. Yeah. So Anders was telling us about the renovations and upgrades they need to do to go full electric bus by 2035 in his country, and so we were talking about how they have the new upgrades to the bus platform to help manage blowouts, as well as you can push a button if the driver is incapacitated, and it will safely stop the bus. And then, being an American, the first thing I did was immediately think of how people would misuse it. It's like, well, as long as they have a "I'm still okay" button, then it's probably fine. Just so that they couldn't bring the bus to stop somewhere prearranged. But again, I'm sure that the Chinese weren't thinking of bus jackers, but I was as soon as I heard it. Yeah. I don't know. What about you? If I told you there's a button you could push if the driver passed out or whatever, do you go immediately to how it would be misused, or you thought?
Wait, these are not self-driving cars?
I don't see why they're not. But I guess in China you don't need everything to be self-driving if you've got a paid bus driver to drive the bus. But at the same time, you have a lot more buses and a lot more people, so there's a lot more chance to have a medical emergency. So even if you don't turn on the technology, I do think it's good to have a dialed down version that you can push a button and it safely steer the bus to a stop. Yeah, I'm not saying that they don't have the same medical checkouts and everything we have for our drivers. I'm just saying that with more people, there's more chance to have an event.
And you want the passenger to be able to press a button to stop the bus?
Oh, that's a feature they are offering right now. Like similar to the
I
stop
feel like-
request button, but you push this to say that the driver is having a heart attack or is passed out or whatever, and it will just bring the bus to a safe stop.
What if I was just going through an intersection and it
Right.
would just bring the bus to a safe stop?
Hopefully they're using their technology off of their passenger cars, and they can like look and see, hey, this is not a safe stop. Let's keep going another 1,000 meters, and then I guess it's a kilometer. You don't need to go a whole kilometer. Let's go to a couple tens of meters out of the intersection, and then bring this bus to a stop safely there, rather than, like you said, in the middle of the intersection on an on ramp, that sort of thing.
I don't think it computes with me. I travel so much. I just don't see these drivers passing out and the passengers needing to stop the bus.
Right?
Um,
Not very
I just
often.
don't see. I also feel like people would just press that button, and I would not like to be the driver if I knew that some of my passengers. That's like if I was a pilot on the plane,
Yeah.
and there's a button that they could
Like auto
control
land
the plane.
now.
I would not like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be.
So if it was driverless, I could see it.
Yeah.
But driver, I don't.
I wonder.
guess-
You have a point there. I wonder if they're getting ready for driverless, because if you use it for
I
the
mean, I thought that's
incapacitated
where everyone
driver,
was going.
yeah, and then you've practiced on the human, and now that you know it works for when the human is having issues, and now when the computer's having issues, you can push it, and that would actually build confidence. Like, hey, I feel better about getting on this thing because I know it's not completely uncontrolled, and I'm just along for the ride. Like if something goes weird or sideways, I can push the button and then somebody come out and take care of it. I like that. I did not even think of that angle. That's probably really where they're going with it. That's smart, because I don't think even in China they have that many medical emergencies that this needed to be I'm not saying that they should stop putting it on there, but I just don't see if they had that many incidents. This was a thing. I think last year they had maybe 3 that we got in the news all the way over here that something happened and the bus ran off the surface. One was really tragic, where it like went off a bridge or off a dam or something. But like, how many of those happen in the world yearly? I'm not saying that was a waste of money to develop that, but that was. I don't know. I guess we just have a different.
Well, I'm in
perspective
Vegas, and they have those Zooks
Yeah.
cars all over.
What do you think of
And
those
they're
ones?
pretty much like driverless buses.
Yeah, like minibuses.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everywhere else they just have the Jaguar with not Uber, with Waymo and Uber sometimes, and then they've got the Teslas in a couple cities. The Zooks, I've only ever seen them at shows. That's really cool. I saw in somebody else's video in Vegas. Have you had a chance to ride one of those?
No, I haven't.
And then would you, if given the chance?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Yeah. Some people are like never. So
I'd go to the moon right now if I could.
right? Oh man, I'd love to take a trip around the moon, to the moon, come back. Of what you've seen of them, how do they seem compared to the humans and compared to the Waymos and the Teslas out there?
I'm not seeing any problems. They have very designated routes, so
Okay.
I want it to be able to where I can schedule it and it just comes outside my house
Yeah.
and I just get in. But
There
they're
you
not
go.
there yet.
So it's more bus than taxi for their service right now.
Yeah, it looks like a little carriage wagon. It looks kind of cool.
Yeah,
to
it
be honest.
does.
It looks like I don't know how to explain it. It looks like a carriage.
It does. Yeah. My daughter's got the little Disney Princess EV with the little Power Wheels, and it looks like a less girly version of that, but bigger.
I take a lot of Ubers, and I have so many ideas for Uber and like rideshare.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to share it with the world.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I want it to be able when I schedule like when I go to the Uber app, you know how there's an Uber Eats and then there's a regular Uber app.
Right.
I want to just combine them both. I open up Uber and it says, are you looking for a ride, or are you looking for food, or are you looking for this? And let's just say I was like a ride and food,
Right.
where the driver picks me up and I have like my Starbucks coffee in the morning.
That would be sharp. Like, hey,
Obviously they would have to approve of it, but
yeah, they would.
And then I heard someone else say, I thought this was a really good idea, where it's like Uber therapy, where they pick you, like you pick up, you want a therapy session, and there's designated therapists that pick you up, and then the session is in the car.
Oh, that's cool.
While they drive.
Yeah, because that's for a lot of people that would be nicer than a couch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was one other one. Oh, using Uber or rideshare for organ tissue transport of biologics. So like you need a organ or tissue delivered to a hospital or whatnot. All of those recoveries of those biologics, organs, tissues, or cells are recovered at a facility anywhere around the country, in a hospital or a clinic or a recovery agency, and then it needs to be transported. And it would be cool to be where you have authorized drivers that are on the rideshare network, where they say, like, they get the ping and they're authorized to pick up this shipper that they can transport to the hospital or to the airport, rather than the technicians recovering and then calling a courier to come to their facility.
We're so close to that one. Somebody needs to make a couple more steps.
Yes.
When I was driving Uber, there was a guy who, when he didn't have any courier jobs to go pick up, he would, he would run Uber trips while he waited for the package to be ready, or after he had done one, he's in a strange town, but he's not ready to clock out for the day. And I thought that was kind of cool, but you're right. Just need one more step to integrate that to make it part of his regular thing. And be like, hey, you normally do this. You're good at it. We've got a priority trip for you. And then when he gets there and does his thing, hey, are you done for the day? Or you want to take a couple trips? And then there it is. Because they've got Uber for trucks for like less than loads. And so this is just another step on that same platform, because you got the commercial side, and there it is.
Yes.
Yeah, smart. I like
100%.
that. Yeah, and then even better, I like your food combo. The like you said, you got to go to work in the morning. You've already pre-scheduled. Hey, I need you here at 5 a.m. because I got to go to the airport.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, let me give you another example. Let's say you're at the club with your friends, and it's like getting last call.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I'm scheduling the ride. But
Here's some hot wings.
Like, I wouldn't even tell them.
Yeah.
Like, a pizza is also going to be in the car. And even if like maybe you can't even eat it in the car, which is fine.
Right.
But it's like they pick up the pizza before they pick you up, and they drop you off, and you have your friends, the pizza, instead of they drop you off and then you go and order pizza.
I like that.
And then you're waiting longer.
That's even better, because I was thinking, you got your airport trip way out of normal. I need my coffee before I go, please. He picks you up with the coffee at 5 a.m. You're normally up at 7 or 6. And then you ride to the airport with your coffee.
And they already have the Uber Eats platform to do that. So you just have to integrate both of those, where the driver is just like, oh, I got to pick this person up, but before I do, I need to get a Mint Majesty, what do they call it? Latte.
Okay.
Or no, tea.
And then on the EVs that have frunks, which is not as many as you'd expect, they could have their hot bag, like a pizza delivery guy has the hot bag. Plug it in.
Yes.
It's like a low voltage up there, and they could have just like all day running around. Not all day, but you know what I mean. They could have like just a basic cheese, a basic pepperoni, just sitting in there, ready to go. After as it approaches lunchtime, and then all the way through, like you said, as the bar lets out. That's a pretty cool idea. And then you've got the I guess they could have just like a Starbucks black, and then you could have like creamers and sugars right there on the spot. I think you're
I'm
onto
not
something
even
there.
envisioning that.
Yeah, you're onto something with this.
I don't want my Uber driver having all these packets of creamers and stuff all over the place. I just want just the drink.
All right.
That's what I want, or just
Yeah,
what
like
I mean?
whatever's
don't know.
popular in the area. Like Starbucks knows what their customers want
Yeah.
in each city. Just have a 4-pack just sitting right there in the front trunk in the hot bag. You switch it to a cool bag. If it's a cold drink city, if it's hot drink city, then you use the same hot bag. And then and that way, they're not distracted by it. And if you're worried about people eating in the car, like on their way out of the ride, hey, let me help you with that. Here's your drink, or here's your pizza. I guess the drinks wouldn't be as weird in the car as the pizza would be.
Yeah, and I do want a therapist as well. I want that.
That's pretty darn cool. I did also do two. I had one of my co-drivers in this particular town was a preacher, and then another was I don't know if it was particularly a therapist, but he was certified to do something with the folks, and so it's just one more step to be a licensed therapist right there. That's pretty smart too.
No, for sure. I do. I have so many Uber drivers that I actually just become friends with because of the conversations, and it's really great.
It is. I kind of miss it, but now that I've got the car seats, I'd have to have a whole separate vehicle for it. I might pick that up again sometime. Depends on where I land. But that was the other part for me is they really want you to be in the area that you're driving in. Not a bad requirement, but it does make it a little more restrictive to be able to just go, oh yeah, I'm over here. I'm at some strange airport. Let's go. Typically, you'd want to be from the region at least, even if you're not from that particular one. It's been a minute since I did it, so let's see, 2019, 2018. Yeah, that was fun though. All the awesome conversations. Okay, so that was the BYD, and we had some awesome ideas about rideshare. And let's see what's next on the notebook. I can close down this. Oh, this article that distracted me as I was looking for video of the BYD features. I don't know if we're going to go into this one, but the headline just grabbed my attention. She says, sad to see EV incentives disappearing. Woman sells Chevy Bright Drop truck, then she reveals how long it takes to charge. All right, so the Bright Drop typically has a 158 kilowatt hour battery pack, all the way up to the 200 that you get with the Chevy trucks. For $78,625, the Chevy Bright Drop 400 owners get 159 miles on a fully charged battery pack. That's got to be the rated charge, because we saw them do DC to New York empty on one charge and get there with 15% remaining. And $78,625 means that she paid pretty much full price, because as we talked about last month, the month before, I went over and got a quote on one. It was like $15,000-$20,000 off, and they were selling as low as $35,000 off in that same time frame. That was all that was in my region, not even in my town that I'm in, but I had to go to the state capital to get that. So let's see. Car sales associate and TikTok user Clarissa Beebe gave a recap of a car sale you don't see every day. Chevy Bright Top fan. I wonder if that 78 is a fully loaded one, like the $95,000 one, and it's still got the $20,000 off. Then that's still a really good deal. Besides, shows herself prepping the car for customer pickup, including plugging in the ride into charge. The video begins with her recording herself sitting inside the capacious cargo EV. Bright Drop is back in detail. Okay, so she picked us up in the car wash bay. It's getting picked up this afternoon. We're doing financing in an hour. She says after cracking open the driver's side door and exiting the vehicle. So when I was selling cars, I didn't send them into detail till they went into finance, whether I knew they had it or not. But as a commercial vehicle, maybe you do it a little differently, or maybe at this particular Chevy store, they run a little differently than the places I sold cars at. So finishing up my track seal, and then right into Bright Drop. Track seal. What is track seal? Track seal. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's a package they offer, or maybe she's literally like oiling down the the track with the rubber on it. I don't think so. Following this, BB shows the vehicle parked in front of a charger with an attached cable being fed from the terminal to the back of the car. Charging it up, it takes about 30 minutes. She said 10 minutes ago, it should be done soon. Yeah, they didn't offer the fastest charging speeds on this thing, even though they have no reason not to, with it having the same platform as the Hummer EV. And I made a goodie bag, she says. I did 2 hats, 2 lunch boxes, and 2 mugs, because it is a husband and his wife, and they have their own business. It's very thoughtful. I liked doing stuff like that. It wasn't always appreciated. Not by the customers. Customers loved it, but depending on the store, the management didn't always care for the extra stuff. Excuse me. They liked the idea, but as you actually do the logistics on it, a lot of them, depending on the store again, didn't actually like it. Like, oh, why are you doing this again? It takes 15 minutes. Yeah, 15 minutes for a good survey and word of mouth referrals. Come on now. It's marketing. To close out her clip, the saleswoman says she enjoyed pulling together a local deal for this truck and that she hopes to be able to sell more commercial vehicles. The caption for a spot, BB urged folks interested in buying an EV to purchase one sooner than later, as the EV incentives are disappearing real soon. But yes, it's a good reminder. You have 9 days remaining to take advantage of the EV incentives and most of the green energy incentives for your home. Some exceptions apply. Don't worry about the exceptions. Just do it now. If you're in the market, if it's in budget, or if it's close to budget, and you were already in the market, just do it now, because it's going to be a minute before anybody does anything to make up for what's going away here. I can see a couple of things being done at the very end of the year. Like, maybe Ford or Chevy has a blowout, or Tesla wants to make their numbers. But if this is important to you and you qualify and the vehicle you want qualifies, I don't think there's going to be another good time anytime soon to do this. And if there were a political change, I don't think that's going to necessarily bring it back either, because unless we get pushed further behind schedule than is acceptable for our goals as a country, I don't see them bringing it back, because by then the manufacturers themselves will have been pushing more and more. U.S. and Canada, you won't have as many Chinese vehicles, but there are so many of them and so much of a selection that I think that if it came down to it, you would just see our countries open up to the Chinese vendors rather than bring back the direct incentives to the consumers. So if the one you want qualifies and you qualify, get it while it's hot. And again, you have to have signed all the paperwork, and it has to be in your ownership by 23/59/59 on September 30th. So if it's not the right color, oh well, get a wrap. If it's got some damage that they need to fix, like there's a nick in the steering wheel, or there's a scratch on the paint, or I can't believe somebody opened the door into a wall and now the door needs fixed. Make sure it shows you as the owner. make sure before you sign on that paperwork that says you're going to be the owner, make sure you get a WEO or a due bill or whatever the location calls it that says that they must make it right before you do the purchase. That way you can bring it back and get the repairs, or you can buy it, own it, and leave it with them to fix and pick it up as a fully finished car or truck, without losing your up to $7,500 credit. And then on the housing side, if you're going to get the induction stove or the HVAC or the home batteries or the solar, you should have already been scheduling this stuff, but stuff happens, weather, rain, etc. If that comes up to bite you, don't panic, don't fret. Look and see if simply having it contracted was enough in your region to it varies on the type and size of the project. Some of them, just simply having it scheduled by now, you're pretty much in the clear as long as it's installed by like next year, like January something, but that varies so much. So if you have the means, get it done for this month. HVAC is a little easier because right now it should be, other than the people trying to match the incentives, it should be towards the tail end of summer, entering into the autumn or the fall. In the northern hemisphere, we're talking United States anyway. So I guess Hawaii might not really have as much of this. Puerto Rico might not have as much as this because they're a little more tropical. But right now we're getting to the point where the HVAC crews are doing less of the system swaps because of the season changes. Like as it turns into summer, or is summer for just a little bit, any systems that were marginal tend to really conk out right at the beginning of summer. And we're not yet at the winter where, or the crazy weather where it's really cold in the morning and then moderate in the daytime and then cold at night, or hot in the afternoon. We're not to the point yet where folks have started to replace heating systems on an emergency basis. I guess heat's not as critical in the States anyway. Canada made a whole new story. In the States, as when the AC goes out, depending on where we're talking, Texas, Florida, Arizona, your AC goes out, it's an emergency. Heat goes out in Maryland. It's not critical. It's not good, but it's not critical. Not saying it's safe necessarily. Depending on where in the winter you're at, if you're in the middle of snow, that could be a problem. But it's not like Alaska when the heat goes out in the middle of winter. That's not so good. But again, in where we're at right now, you should still possibly be able to get a quick turnaround if they have stuff in stock that qualifies for the heat pump conversions in your region. Again, that's controlled by the state. It's not at the federal level. I guess it's federal incentive, but it's controlled by the state. It's dispersed by the state. So you need to look and see what qualifies. Get your couple quotes in and get it scheduled, because all of that ends September 30th officially. And I don't want to get your hopes up and say, yeah, your car delivers at 1 a.m. on October 1st. You'll be fine. It could be. It might be. But is that a risk you want to take? Your heat pump is installed on October 2nd. You're probably okay, but it depends on where you are. You're in one of those like hard-nosed places where like, we don't even like this stuff anyway, and no, we're not going to give you the $15,000 that we promised you that this thing qualified for, or the $2,000 that this thing qualified for. That makes a difference. Like for me, on the heat pump in this place when the air went out for good. It was $20,000 bump to save, I think 8 or 7, maybe 10. It was the return was less than the step up, and then the fuel efficiency would take many years to see it back between the two units. It's like going from a like my '04 Prius to let's call it '06 Prius, because the '08 changed. It was slightly better, but was it worth buying a whole new car for? So that's kind of the same kind of thing. Like, say in '06, I was looking at the '06 Prius and the '04 Prius, and I wanted to pick between the two. I could get the 6 and the tax credit, or I get the 4 and the used car, discount, and the tech wasn't that much different between the two. Actually, I think that was a real one for me, because I ended up with the '04 Prius in like '05, '06. I ended up with a used Prius. So I was trying to make a scenario, but I ended up just telling you what I did. Oh man, time flies. All right, so then they tell you about the Bright Drop specs. 14 modules, front-wheel drive motor. You can get an all-wheel drive Bright Drop as well. Oh, there it is right there. Looking for all-wheel drive, have to fork over an extra $2,600. That's fair. I think Tesla was charging $2,500 for motors at one point. 14 modules. There's also a 20 module battery pack. The Bright Drop with the larger battery and dual motor will bring the grand total up to 99,225 and a maximum 272 miles of commuting range. On a sticker. And the sticker assumes that it's got some kind of load in it and some kind of speed to it, because that's a truck. So it doesn't actually, it's a heavy truck too. So it's not a normal, like an EPA sticker. It's, if I'm recalling correctly, it's more like the Sprinter and the Rivian, where the Rivian delivery van, where they aren't obligated to, and the Cybertruck, where they're not obligated to give you an EPA number, so they can give you a number. It's just not, it's not the same as with passenger cars. In other cases, they just don't give a number because they don't have to. Those who want a Bright Drop with a bigger backside can opt for it used to be the Zevo 600, so the Bright Drop 600, it's the bigger one, the longer one. Starts at 80, 125, and carries 164. And the reason it has a lower range is it's heavier and has the same motors and batteries. It also has a lower towing capacity, cargo capacity, for the same reason. Because it's just like the Rivian, same powertrain. Just you've got more body, and the more body weighs more and has more drag, more aerodynamic resistance. The DC fast charging port. Mando recommends owners get their hands on a NACS to CCS adapter, but cautions against using ones not approved or manufactured by GM. Oh, that's true. They didn't offer on the one I was looking at. I guess it must have been the wrong model year. They didn't offer, or because it's the commercial, they didn't offer an adapter with the one I was looking at. I do like this though, and I missed this about my Model S. Commercially, the 19.2 kilowatt charging port. So 19.2 kilowatts is the full 80 amp spec on NACS and J1772, and I missed that on my Model S. Mine only did the 40, but we'd spec the wall connector. We spec'd it at 80 amps, and it's on a 100 amp breaker. Because we had intended to buy the second charger, the dual charging unit. But then we took the money that we'd saved for the second charger and dropped it as a down payment on the Model X 8 years ago now. And And that was that. Thankfully, they still had the high amp charger option, and our Model X can charge at 72 amps or a 90 amp breaker. So I'm a bit overspec'd for it, but it charges pretty quick on AC. And then, of course, on the DC fast charging, same as ours, the Bright Drop bypasses the onboard charger, so you're at the mercy of whatever charger and onboard cabling you've got. So it can do 10% to 80% in just 45 minutes. I don't know why they didn't do any of the same tricks they did with the Hummer on this vehicle. With the battery pack that large, you'd expect it could charge faster. It must be the, and we saw this like with my Model X versus the new one. My charge inlet is just not a spec to do the full 250 kilowatts that's currently available on the V3 stations. Or actually, I say that. On the V3 Pluses, you can do 325 now on Cybertruck. And, well, we are not there on this. Because ours is, I don't know if ours is stranded or if it's the solid, I don't want to say it's stranded because it doesn't strike me that it's new enough to be solid. The solid charging inlet wiring. All right, so there's her TikTok. She's delivering this Zevo, this Bright Drop. I'm gonna guess 400 because they were talking about the 600 in the article, but let's look at it once she gets out of it. It looks like the 600 to me. I wonder what they're going to use it for. Kind of wish she could have put a plug in for who bought it. Depending on the customers, sometimes they would want you to know, and sometimes they don't want you to know. We did this thing at one of my stores where we would put them on our social media page as they bought the car. And so in that case, I would have put them up there as well as, you know, hey, this is a doggy groomer, or hey, this is a cement bag delivery depot, or that would have been fun. All right, so now let's get back to the notebook and continue where we were going. Let's check the messages real quick. I see some from Anders, but I don't know. I think the one's already covered. Yes, they are. Okay, so let's go back here, paste and go. This one's on X. What is it? It's from Teslarati. It's loading. Still loading. So let me get this next one ready to go. Why is X crawling? We're on X. I've got messages. I'll check them out in a moment. Oh, this was fun. It's kind of the opposite of a recall. This IIHS released this, I guess, this morning. IIHS released some new crash test data on several vehicles this morning. I think they were going somewhere else with this. I'm glad they didn't delete the post. The BMW i4, Chevrolet Blazer EV, Tesla Cybertruck, and the Volkswagen ID Buzz earn good ratings with moderate overlap test. The Tesla Model 3 is rated as acceptable. And this is on the new moderate overlap test. So these guys got their ratings or got refreshed ratings. And this is the new Model 3, so it might be the new rating for that one as well. Not a re-rating. A description from the test from the IAHS is the moderate overlap front test represents an offset crash between two vehicles in opposite directions at a little under 40 miles per hour each. So right about 80 miles per hour closing speed between the two. It was updated in 2022 to incorporate seat back protection. There we go. And that's why all of these cars, which were all new, got the new test for 2022. They didn't get to reuse their existing tests, especially not the Model 3 because it was all new, or at least it was a refresh. The Highlander, Highland. Sorry. I3, oh, sorry, i4, not the i3. Blazer EV, Cybertruck. Cybertruck was previously not fully rated. So that makes sense. The ID Buzz is all new. I don't know. The Blazer might have been right on the line. So that makes sense. Is there a link to the report? Good question. I think that they hadn't had it out yet, but I knew it was coming, so I just grabbed the tweet. These replies. Little seatbelt reminder. Stupid test, he says. I don't think so. I don't think so at all, because it's not just your seatbelt reminder that it chimes about. It chimes about everybody's seatbelt. So if you've got a kid that you buckle up and you might have forgot because of distractions, that helps. I can re-relate my horror, though. The one time that I got distracted by Moto and her freaking out about boots, and I forgot to buckle her up. And we got to the end of the driveway. She said, "No seatbelt." And I said, "Oh, no." And I stopped in the middle of the street, put her seatbelts on, and all was good. But then that gave me a greater appreciation for, not negligent, but the distracted situations of parents and kids in cars. Not that I didn't already have a very healthy respect for what could happen. It's like I said, it just further drove it home. The microphone is being blocked by something I need to sell, and I was trying to figure out why I wouldn't go further. It's being blocked by the underside of the camera. So yeah, give me a healthier, not expectation, healthier respect for all the ways things can go wrong when a distracted child situation comes up. Tangent time. So there was a single mom, worked for Amazon at the fulfillment center, and she lost her 8-year-old to a hot car. And folks were saying that her punishment wasn't heavy enough. The child got cold, and so she turned off the car. The mom had left air conditioning on, so that tells me that the kid was in the front seat, most likely. At the very least, not stuck to a booster seat. And the assumption is that it was a keyless start car, so that it would stay running if you took the key, but it would not restart. And I don't know why it would have been an adjustment to the thermostat instead of turning off the car, or why the kid didn't get out of the car. The speculation there is perhaps the kid was told, "Don't get out of the car," and was just super obedient, or was asleep. And unlike some of the other cases we've seen recently, this mother was like using every one of her little break minutes to run out to the car to check on her kid, which is, I'm not saying that this was the right way to handle any of it, because obviously it did not have a good ending, but in this very difficult decision she made, she seemed to have accounted for a lot, but not enough. And so the kid obviously didn't know to adjust the air instead of turning off the car. And some folks said, why didn't you crack a window? Well, if the keys are out of the car and you turned off the air conditioning because you were cold, but it's a hot day outside, you probably aren't going to open the windows in the time between when you turn off the ignition that the windows will still operate, if it's a car that does that. The little girl, the mom came back on one of her check-ins, and she had shallow breathing, and so she immediately called for aid, and it was not in time. That's not a typical, case of where the things go. It's usually a forgetting situation, or somebody else who had to make the same difficult choice of food on the table or childcare and chose wrong. But the others in her shoes don't typically prepare as well. You end up with cases where they don't know their car turns off after 30 minutes or 15 minutes or whatever their car is set up for, or they don't even bother with proper trying to make sure the HVAC is running, or the HVAC breaks, or it's a little bitty baby and they leave them buckled in the car seat, so there's not a chance that anything can happen. I was attached to an Amazon fulfillment center. I don't think ours had a daycare in it, but they certainly had the space for it. And I mean, I get it. I mean, we got two of us, and we cannot get regular childcare, so we're down to one income instead of two. As a single parent, you don't always have that choice. If your job doesn't provide it and you can't afford it, it's rough. I mean, she had to choose between roof over her head and food on the table, or the kid's 8 years old, running around talking, knows how to turn the car off. You wouldn't expect it to be the same as the lady with the 3-year-old strapped into the baby seat. But it's still a real thing to worry about and be concerned with. With that, in the last Tesla software update, they updated the in-car ultra, what do they call it? The high-def radar that's inside the car, focused on the occupants. I don't know if it's just in Europe, but they've got the forgotten kid reminder just got turned on, either this update or a recent update. So if the car goes to lock itself and you don't have any of the camp mode, keep on, dog mode, any of that, and it sees that the seat is occupied, the car will alert you repeatedly and regularly. Hey, precious cargo. Hey, come back to the car. Whoa, buddy, something gone wrong. Let's get this taken care of. They went ahead and made sure that this is to let you know that this is on car only. It's not cloud based. So it's just between you, your app, and your precious cargo. I know why they did it this way, because then it's less likely to get turned off, and it's on by default too. You can turn it off, but it's on by default, which which is a good default. They make some of the weirdest choices with what's on and what's off, but that one I fully agree that should be on. And I also don't think it should only be in Europe. It needs to be worldwide now on all the Teslas. I don't care if it's not ready yet. Just like cabin overheat protection is now what probably 10 years old for cabin overheat protection. We had one of these hot car deaths, and at the shareholder meeting, the person described what happened. Elon started crying, said this will never happen again in our cars. And by the end of the next week, or the week after that, we had an update, and in the update was cabin overheat protection, the first edition of it. And it was set up to 104 degrees. It was, it was different than it is now, but not appreciably different. It was the same concept. So for the first 24 hours-ish after you close the car, it would never get above 104. I think the newer versions added in the heat. They don't get below a certain temperature. And then later on, they added in the notification, hey, the AC compressor has failed. Hey, the heater has failed, whatever the case may be. So that helps. Because as I was saying, some of the people went as far as this mother did at the Amazon, doing the regular check-ins, but the compressor fails. And in between the breaks that you get, as a frontline, entry-level type worker, manual laborer, the way the breaks are structured, the bathroom breaks and the snack breaks and the rests, was enough time that a failed compressor, seized compressor, any of the other reasons why the car isn't one of the ones that turns off on its own, the air fails, and leading to tragedy. Pretty early on, not right away with the cabin overheat protection, but very early on, cabin overheat protection added in where it would tell you, hey, the temperature is set to this and is creeping away. I think that probably came in with like the second update to dog mode, like, hey, the compressor's failed. Or it doesn't say the compressor's failed. It says, temperature set to 68, but it's now 75, 85. Come back. So this is an evolution of that even. That notification system anyway. So the cabin radar will say, hey, you forgot someone. Dog, cat, parakeet, kid. But I think that needs to spread quickly. It's not everywhere yet, and I understand first release, test it, whatever. But I think that's one of the ones that should just get the quick rollout, get it out, and then hammer out the bugs as you go on. Because if you can save even one kid, one dog, one bird, did it matter that it had a few rough edges? I mean, don't rely on these things, obviously, but to have a second chance, I think Tesla agrees, because they're all about safety. Like they also recently updated the vision-based cars, the hardware for vision-based cars, so that they tie into the airbag systems a little better than they did before. So they can actually use what they see of the environment to pre-charge the airbag, preload everything, just to help out that a little bit much more in a frontal collision, side collision, that sort of situation. So I don't doubt that they're gonna do the right thing and bring this thing worldwide. It's just shocked me to see Europe only. The only one that really would have made sense for me was if it was China only at first, just because of the way that they test and spread their tech. It's either US first or Chinese first, typically. And that might just mean that it came out of Tesla Europe first. That's just where the engineer was. I don't know. But the utility and the safety factor of this made me want to see it everywhere at once, not just Europe. Oh, we were on crash tests, so let's go into the article and check it out after we finish these comments real quick. Okay, so they linked us to the actual IIHS.org, so we'll read it directly from. I said NHTSA though. No, it was IIHS. I'm sorry. NHTSA was involved with something else recently, and that's why, as we were going along, I, for some reason, thought it was them. Oh, yeah, so the seatbelt reminder, that's what got us on that. So the seatbelt reminder is not stupid. For yourself, it's possible you might not have enough body awareness to realize when you're not wearing your seatbelts, depending on what you're wearing and how tightly the seatbelt conforms to your body. But more importantly is the seatbelt reminder for other people in your car. I hope that the new systems with the cabin radar give you less false positives for seatbelts. Like if somebody puts their hand in the other seats, or if you put your briefcase or your laptop or your dinner or your groceries, or I don't know, whatever you put in the seat that's got a little bit of weight to it that would trick the system into thinking, oh, the seatbelt should be on. It maybe can look and say, hey, that's too cold to be a being. It doesn't need a seatbelt reminder. Or hey, there's only 2 people in this car, and there's 2 seatbelts on already, and they match the positions I see the people in. That must be somebody's hand or luggage. This triggered the weight sensor in the next seat to the other person with the seatbelt, perhaps. That would be cool. But before we go into many more tangents here, let's finish the rest of these comments and then go read the article. Headlight glare, also silly. No. Have you ridden in the South with what my wife calls the jungle trucks and what other people call the Carolina squat, and the rest of the country where they just raise the vehicle up, just the whole thing, not the like a dog dragging itself on the carpet. Not everyone is, I don't want to say intelligent, but aware enough that when you've raised the car, you should also lower the headlights. And so glare is pretty important. Another case where you get a lot of glare is when somebody changes the headlight type to one that's not supported by the reflectors. There are some headlight assemblies that are multi-technology, as in, you can have halogen, you can have xenon, you can have LED. Not usually all 3, usually just if it does more than one. Some of the assemblies can handle 2 technologies. If somebody puts in something it wasn't built for, that just happens to throw enough light out that they can still see and they don't know any better, it can throw out a lot of glare to everybody else as well. And so having a glare test is not bad, because there are some cars from the factory that have some pretty crappy glare, and that makes it harder to drive at night when you've got them oncoming to you, or worse, riding kind of behind you into the wing mirrors. Even if your wing mirrors can tint like mine do. Tesla hasn't had all their wing mirrors tint all the time. They take it. It's something that seems to come and go, and not just Tesla. Like most cars don't have side mirrors that tint. A lot of them have the center rearview mirror on the inside. That's not very uncommon these days, but not everybody has that. And the little stupid flipper thing that you flip to reduce the glare doesn't always do a good enough job. Or worse, in some cars it's not set up correctly that it helps much at all. Either because the person didn't set it right, or sometimes the glare is just so bad that the little just doesn't do the trick. Anyway, so glare is not a stupid test either. Cybertruck holding strong. Model 3 just acceptable. Safety still sets the bar. Acceptable is not a bad thing on a new test. You don't want to see just acceptable on a test that's been out for a minute. They've had time to practice that. But other times, I see that Wes has to discover more, so it's not directly related to this necessarily, but we'll check it out. Sometimes they can anticipate how the test is going to happen, and they can be prepared to ace it before it comes out, which is cool. But sometimes you got to make the product and then see how it does, and then you can go from there. And acceptable, it's acceptable. Now, acceptable, right as the test is so old that they're about to change it to the next thing. No, it's not acceptable in that case, especially if it's only acceptable because it's a budget car. Because you'll see me go on another rant if I see a budget car that's missing features, safety features that aren't out of the realm of reasonable. Just because the car is $5,000 new, it doesn't mean that you don't deserve airbags, for instance. Although, if the car is $5,000 new and doesn't go fast enough to need airbags, I can excuse that. Or if you use a mitigating technology like a 5-point harness, then that's okay as well. I mean, the airbag is a supplementary restraint system, SRS. So if you have a 5-point harness, or if you have any of the other acceptable tested systems, I'm not going to say, oh, it doesn't have an airbag, it's terrible. But if it doesn't meet the standards just because you think they're poor, I take issue with that. My 2025 Model 3 has the best headlights of any car I've ever driven. What does it take to get a good rating? Okay, so this on the headlight test, it's a lot harder to do, and I'm fine with that. We'll see the article in a minute. Congratulations. Give you a heart for that. So Wes is talking about, it's probably got music, let's see.
Electric cars, by the way, the thing is, it's just a better car. In nearly every dimension, performance, quietness, comfort, drivability, etc. So I've just written a piece for the Evening Standard where let's imagine this in reverse, right? Where all cars are electric and we're all nipping around in little electric cars and recharging. And this rogue Volkswagen engineer comes up with, I've got a better idea, okay? It's massively complicated. You put a huge tank of an inflammable liquid in your car, right? And then it feeds into these cylinders where we engineer an explosion, a series of explosions. Now, unfortunately, it only produces torque in a limited range of the revolutionary cycles. So we'll need a thing called a gearbox, which we'll need oil for. And then we'll need an air filter. And then we'll need a water filter. And then we'll need all this stuff. It's going to be vastly more complicated. So you go, does it perform better than an electric car? No, not really. No, okay. Is it quieter? No. Quite the opposite. It's fucking noisy as hell. Is it cleaner? No. It's farting stuff out of the back. Right, okay. So is it simpler to make? No. There are 250 moving parts in the drivetrain. I know electric cars only have 7, but this needs 250. Right, okay. So what's the upside? Well, you can refill it really quickly. Can you refill it at home? No, obviously you can't refill it at home. Right? You're not going to have a fucking petrol tank. Are you fucking insane? You're not going to be able to refill this thing at home, right? No. You'll have to go to a special place, which, by the way, won't just be a little thing on the side of the road with a rapid charger. It'll be a massive thing selling Ginsters and Marks and Spencer Simply Food. Basically, that guy's career's over, right? Okay, so the 0.05% of the population who routinely drive 350 miles a day and have such enormous bladders that they never need to stop, they're going to benefit slightly from this insanely complicated engine, but the rest of us are going to have a horrible time. No, I don't really see this is going to fly.
I like that. Sorry for the F-bombs there. I didn't realize they were in there. They did kind of add to his point, though.
Electric cars, by the way.
Yeah. Stackable with $7,500 tax credit, which you can take advantage of when taking delivery in the next 10 days. So this is from Tesla North America. Use your friend's referral code and get $1,000 off a Cybertruck or Model S or X. Available in, it looks like it's saying the U.S. and Puerto Rico, which is also the U.S. Yep, Puerto Rico. Not that I don't know the Puerto Rican flag. Again, my screen in front of the camera is tiny. We'll come back to that one. And again, any EV that qualifies, Tesla or not, you have 9 days. If you're in the market, make it happen. Why is eSIM trending? I don't know that I want to know. Definitely don't want to know why Matt Gaetz is trending. Is that the one with the kids issues, or is this the reporter or other guy with the same name? 30,000 posts. I'm gonna assume it's not the cool guy, the guy with the recent plastic surgery. I'm gonna click it, but I'm not gonna read it on air. But I do want to know why eSIM is trending. Daniel Jones, sports, politics, Biden. Why is Biden trending now? I'll read that later as well. The best I've seen so far, it's a must-have. Okay, whatever. This regulation change from the NHTSA will allow Tesla. Oh, this is another article we have coming up. So I'm going to open this just in case it's a new perspective on what we're already doing. And that's also why I was thinking NHTSA, because we were already going to be talking NHTSA, and I think it is pretty darn cool. And again, like I said, a lot of this is coming from Tesla framing, but is not Tesla focused.
The thing is, it's just a better
where
car.
did
In nearly every dimension.
There, this is what I was looking for. Sorry. So Cybertruck retweeted Tesla North America. And he's got a code. Use mine instead. Yeah, Puerto Rico is the U.S., so I don't know why they called it out separately, but whatever. A bunch of people's referrals codes. That's a Cybertruck for real. Cybertruck's dash is the perfect lunch table. 10 out of 10 can recommend. The Cybertruck's got a ginormous dashboard. Model X has got one too, but nothing like the Cybertruck's dashboard. Bunch of people's referral codes. Do it now and stack the discounts. It's a great deal. I recommend adding an option to enter a referral code before submitting it. Why would they do that? Because if you enter your order and you forget to do it, then they get to keep all of the money. And if it's good enough of a deal that you'll cancel and reorder with the referral code, then they get your cancellation fee. I think they should review that and go back to the way it used to be, where you could get it fixed. But I also see why they locked it in the way they did. I had a couple of referrals that got disappeared, and the car still showed up to the person who bought it. One of them didn't know, and the other got wound back. Not the deal, but the referral. So they knew that it wasn't me, because not only did I not get the whatever the prize was at the time, whatever they were getting got wound back. So it wasn't discounts for them. It was like one of those things where, hey, you both get some miles or whatever. And then their miles went away because somebody had changed their code and it didn't qualify. So I think that's why they do it the way they do now. And the they didn't qualify was obviously who else could change it after the order's put in. So it was an inside job. And, that person wasn't happy. The other person, like I said, they didn't know. They used my code, went to somebody else. But now, that's not a thing, because you had to put it in before you order, and then it's locked in. All right, so let's go to the IIHS, the new moderate overlap 2022 test. And let's zoom in a little bit because I can't read this. Okay. Okay. One more. Ah. All right, so we see a smashed up Model 3. That looks like the BMW i4 there. Is that a Mazda or a Toyota or Honda? I definitely see the Cybertruck there. There's a BMW there as well. That's a new Chevy, the BMW, the VW ID Plus. So obviously they were only telling us about the electric ones at inside EVs, which is fair. Or is it Tesla Roddy? Either way, whoever told us about it, we only really care about the EVs anyway. So 5 out of 7 electric vehicles recently, oh, these were all electric then. Do the others do poorly is the question then. 5 out of 7 electric vehicles recently tested by the IIHS boast award-winning performance in key crash tests, while 2 others struggle with protection for the backseat passengers. It's not good when the testing board says you struggled. Struggle is real. Struggle. For 2025 models, the BMW i4, Chevrolet Blazer EV, Tesla Cybertruck, and Volkswagen ID Buzz earned good ratings in the moderate overlap test. And I do believe good is as high as you can get with the IIHS, so that is really good. The Tesla Model 3 rated acceptable. The rating for Cybertruck applies to models built after April 2025 when changes were made to the front underbody structure. Interesting. That's interesting. Front underbody structure changes in April of 25. That changes some things for me. Stand by. All right, so let's do this. Then, you don't need to know where I am. You already know who I am, so you don't need to know where I am. 0% APR. Ends on the 30th. Oh, you have 0% available. Yeah, the tax credit, we knew about that. Okay. Let's do Cyber Beast. And let's do... I'm just trying to see if there's... There we go. Can you get that on all-wheel drive? Interesting. It completely changes the configurator. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to leave it on Cyber Beast. Includes all the drive upgrades to tri-motor, performance launch mode, top speed. You don't need to go that fast in a truck. Rear torque steering, which I think is kind of cool. Torque vectoring, sorry, not torque steering. It's already got rear steering, period. Premium interior, laser edge Cerberus badge. All right, so the Lux package includes full self-driving supervised, 4 years of premium service, and supercharging for free at 70,000 superchargers worldwide. So supercharging for life. And premium connectivity for life. So the appeal of this package, the Lux package for me, on X and Cybertruck, or if I was blessed enough to be able to afford to keep a sedan and just get another Model S. I loved my Model S, but it's not practical for what I'm doing right now. Anyway, the appeal of the Lux package is that it replicates what I've always had with Tesla. My Model S 2016 had the free charging for life for the life of the car, not for the life of the ownership of the first owner. Whereas the car I have now has free charging for life for the ownership, the first owner. You had a bloody nose, baby? Yeah? I've got your donut and your pizza still here. Your pizza and your donut that you left with me. She left the paper towel on the floor. All of our non-paper towels are in the wash. So anyway, the free charging for life, as we've discussed with Mark on the Tesla Life show, not everybody can utilize that, but knowing that I've been working from home for the last 5 years, let's go into the Tesla app here. I'm getting a notice from the Tesla. Why? I hope the door wasn't open all night. I've done that before. You used your phone 46 minutes less than last week while playing a phone game all through the night. Charging ended, charging started. There's a sale on my Steam wish list. I hope the sale is free, but not always. Oh, this is from yesterday. Climate has been on for an extended period of time. We went somewhere yesterday, and I left the air on because we had medications in the car and stuff that could melt. So let's click on this because I was going there anyway. And I would jack the screen in, but as we've seen, that changes things around the display, so I don't want to do that. All right, so we're going to charge stats. All right, so the last 31 days, I've spent $22 in electricity and charged 161 kilowatt hours. All at home, on a home charger. Apparently, my $22 of electricity would have been $55 in gas. Let's go to the year. So this year we've been short on trips, and we still managed to get 37% superchargers, 56% home, 7% others. I guess the rest was regen. So for a total of just under 5 megawatt hours, or $431 in fuel. So we saved $1,216 fueling the vehicle, $431 spent versus $1,647 gas equivalent, and so that would be another 37% off from the supercharging. Not quite what I wanted to show. So if that's the last rolling 12 months, in December we did a heck of a lot of traveling. Can I hover on it? How did it work that? That used to be easier. I guess kind of a hard push. All right, so in December we burned 1.7 megawatt hours, 74 spent, of which home, supercharger, and other. Oh, I see how. So this month, last 31 days. Yeah, and you can swipe. Okay, so let's swipe back to December and see what happens. December would be typical for us on a road month, but there were a couple more typical months where we do a mixture of supercharging and home use. This year has been lacking in road trips. Not zero, but lacking. So that December was 67% supercharged, 12% other, 21% home chargers. And the 16th was a heavy day. 364 kilowatt hours. So we were on the road on the 16th. What I was trying to do there was see if it was including supercharging costs or not. I don't think that it is. All that to say, as we've discussed with Mark, that not everybody actually can get full value out of this thing. But when I'm not playing lump on our log for a year, we're typically 50 to 60% supercharged, and the rest of it would be home or other just opportunity level 2 charging. And I just saw the amount of megawatt hours. For us, the free charging for life actually is quite a perk. And so to not lose that would be kind of cool. I don't know about that part. That's a mortgage payment, but okay. So then it goes into the same as the dual motor. So you can get the Cyber Beast with the core wheels now on a new order. I'd probably go tactical gray. I like the white interiors, but I don't know that I'd pay $2,000 for white door cards and a dashboard. So $3,000, right? No, it's just two, straight two. I don't mind the tactical gray, but if I was going to get the white, I'd want the white seats again. And with all of that dashboard and all of those windows, I think not having them reflect would be nice. There were a couple of Model 3s and Model X's I drove where they had the white dash and they weren't the performance trim. Why does that matter? The performance trim had carbon fiber. They weren't the performance trim, so they had the white dash, and it's I found it distracting and annoying to have them reflecting in the window. But all of that, what I was looking at and concerned with was if you could get the free charging and that new crash structure. So let's now go back to the IIHS article. PowerShare bundles. So it comes with PowerShare. I would probably get the PowerShare connector for the home. Don't think you need it if you have a power wall, though. So I'd probably get one power wall on the house. I don't think it comes with a mobile charger anymore, does it? Or is that an extra one? I don't know. Universal home charger and gateway. Yeah, I'd want that. So if you have the gateway, I don't think you need the charger, but the wall charger, wall connector. That's a steep lease payment too. So lease payment of $14.99, due today $250. Oh, that was leased the whole time, so let's go to purchase. That's not as shocking as a mortgage payment on a finance. Let's see what the finance came to be. Oh, yeah, that's more. Anyway, let's go back to where we were doing. I was only checking out the free charging for life, and I got distracted. So we are looking at now April of 25. Where is that at? There. All of these vehicles provide excellent protection for the driver, solid protection for the rear passengers, and in the case of the Model 3, however, measurements taken from the rear dummy indicate somewhat elevated risk of chest injuries due to high belt forces. And we see why. And like I said, it's a new test, so not everybody acing this thing is to be expected. To get acceptable, it's fine. I'd be fine buying an acceptable. I wouldn't be so fine with poor or worse. Not tested. It depends on how I feel about the company. So that was the Aria I was looking at there. Okay. And the truck was the Lightning, the traditional looking pickup truck. I wasn't sure if that was a Chevy or a Ford. So that's definitely the Ford Lightning. And This one looks like the Aria to me. And this one looks like the Blazer. And I've probably flipped them around. I have definitely flipped them around. Because the Aria should have the Nissan floating pillar thing. And the Blazer probably would not. And I probably second-guessed myself back into being wrong. We'll see. The Aria's restraints... the F-150 Lightning and the Nissan Aria each earn ratings of poor and marginal, respectively. Okay, so poor is worse than marginal. All right, so the F-150 Lightning would be not on my list because I got people riding the back seat now. Respectively. Also, safety is one of my above environmentalism. Safety is one of my buying factors. But I've always known this. It's just every time I have to look at it in the face, it's like, yeah. Anyway, the Aria's restraints worked well to control the motion of the rear dummy in the crash, but the injury metrics showed a high risk of chest injuries. They fell short when protecting passengers in the rear, is how they called it out. Ouch. The F-150 Lightning's measurements taken from the rear dummy showed a high risk of not only chest injuries, but also injuries to the head and neck. Unacceptable. In addition to the dummy's lap belt moved from the ideal position to on the pelvis onto the abdomen, which increases the risk of internal injuries. So on the hip, great, hold you in place. On the gut, no. The moderate overlap front test represents an offset. Okay. Saw the weirdest little reminder come up across my screen. Not reminder, but like notification. And I don't know what to make of it. Anyway, the moderate overlap front test represents an offset crash between two offset vehicles traveling in opposite directions. The test vehicle strikes a stationary barrier at 40 miles per hour with 40% of its front end overlapping the barrier. So two identical cars basically at an 80 mile per hour closing. Today's models almost all offer good front seat protection in this kind of crash. Backseat performance, which the IIHS started evaluating in 2022, is what differentiates the vehicles. And that's what I like about these tests. Not just the government, or not just the IIHS, but the government one too, the NHTSA, the Euro NCAP, all of them. They just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. Not even fast. They push to keep these the best outcomes from what they see out there in the real world, and to give the manufacturers time to implement them. As we saw on the 1959 Chevy versus 2009 Chevy Malibu, just a whole heap of differences, and I would not go for the classic car thinking, oh, they were built better back then, because they weren't, and the tests show it. They might have been, well, I say that some of them were built so strong that we would say at the dealerships, we would say, oh, you just wash out the driver and sell it again. Thankfully, we don't build them like that anymore. Excuse me. I think that was at the Toyota store we said that one. All right, today's models all offer almost good backseat performance differentiates. New ratings of the pedestrian crash tests. Pedestrian crash test is pretty important because these people aren't driving and they didn't elect to have a reckless driver anywhere near them without a cage. At least the motorcycle can kind of see what's happening, but they also matter, motorcycles and bicyclists. The pedestrian crash prevention evaluation also available for the i4, Lightning, Cybertruck, and Model 3, which earned good ratings, as well as the ID Buzz, which rated as acceptable. The Blazer EV previously earned an acceptable rating, while both the standard and optional systems on the Aria previously earned ratings of good. So it was good and was acceptable. What are they now? Also available for good ratings. Okay, so the Blazer's not on that list. So does the Blazer drop or change? Good ratings. ID Bus gets acceptable. EV Blazer previously earned acceptable. Did they carry over or did they change on the test? That's what I'm curious about here. When it comes to headlights, none of the vehicles in the group earned good ratings. Yep. However, 5 of the 7 vehicles come exclusively with acceptable rated headlights. What that means is that they don't have any like optional crappy headlights. So eventually they'll figure out how to make lights that they can deem good, and then once they've done that, they will just repeat and repeat and repeat. The outliers are the i4, which is available with marginal or poor headlights. So you can get marginal headlights, or if you don't spend money, you get poor headlights. So this is what I'm talking about, the safety feature plus up. The cheaper headlights, they might not have as much throw or whatever, but they should still be as good on the safety side as the more expensive technology. Like beam pattern and whatever else they're failing for, they should not have that problem. If it's glare, they should have less of it. Come on now. And Cybertruck, which comes only with poor rated headlights. That one was an enigma to me why they did that. It doesn't have the matrix headlights in the same way that the rest of them do. It's got segmented headlights, very much like my Model X has, but they're in a straight little line instead of a little eyeliner. It's not a good showing. But I've always been kind of down on them on these headlights as soon as I found out that they were not Tesla grade. In the IHS setting, neither BMW's 2 headlight systems provide adequate illumination on the high beam setting. Oh, that's not good. The poor rated version offered with the eDrive 35, eDrive 40, and xDrive 40 trims also created excessive glare with the low beams. Oh, with the low beams? I get excessive glare on the high beams, but wow. The Cybertruck's headlights were also downgraded. Oh, downgraded. So they were marginal, and now they're poor. Downgraded because the low beams caused excessive glare. Come on, Tesla. Come on. We know you know better. Only the Aria and Blazer have undergone all the tests required for the Institute's Top Safety Pick and Top Safety Pick Plus awards. But neither meets the criteria. Ooh. It's like only these guys had the chance to qualify, but they don't. Does anybody qualify for the new one is the next question. That's the hazards of being in the in-between years. Excuse me, where they change the test. Is you can get one when nobody's passing. You know, with the Top Safety Pick and Top Safety Pick Plus awards. The Blazer misses the mark due to an acceptable rating in the small overlap test, while the Aria's marginal rating in the moderate overlap test prevents it from qualifying. Though they are still missing some other results, the headlight ratings of the i4 and Cybertruck moderate overlap tests. Headlight ratings of the i4 and Cybertruck, while the moderate overlap test of the Lightning eliminate those models from consideration as well. Okay, so if the Cybertruck can get it except for the headlights, I'll be happy with that. Same with the i4, but they gotta finish the rest of the test. Both rewards require good ratings and small overlap and side crash test. Acceptable or good ratings for the headlights offered with all trims. Oh man. So I have a feeling that Cybertruck is going to get new headlights, and hopefully they'll be available as retrofits, because that would be nice. Rating of acceptable. Acceptable ratings for the 7 EVs in all of those tests, as well as for vehicle-to-vehicle front crash prevention, seatbelt reminders, and latch ease of use can be found in the table below. So latch ease of use is pretty nice when you're dealing with car seats. Just saying. All right, so these are all EVs, so we want to look at all of them. Got a not rated across a bunch of these, but for the front, you got good and moderate or poor, depending on your package. Good for pedestrian, that's good. Marginal on reminders, interesting. And good for use, latch ease of use, seatbelt reminders, okay. Blazer, acceptables in small overlap, headlights, and the front crash standard system. Oh, with pedestrians. Okay. I'm guessing that previous was a carryover. The Ford Lightning. Yeah, but we talked about this. The poor on the moderate overlap front. Aria is not yet rated on front crash. So far, looks all right. I got a G+. I didn't know you could get a G+. Got a G+ on latch ease of use. Cybertruck is not yet rated on small overlap. You can get small overlap, but you got the moderate overlap. Interesting. Not rated on side. I think it will do exceptionally there. I'd like to see this one. And then not yet rated on front crash prevention vehicle to vehicle 2.0. This one actually makes sense to me, because the way that one is done, you run the vehicles head on into a wall. And the Cybertruck is quite heavy. So they might need to finish the upgrades to their wall. They were upgrading the facilities the last time I checked in on them. So that is not too much of a surprise. It's not done yet. Unless they've already tested the Hummer, which would mean that they've already finished upgrading that facility, and then they probably should hurry up and slam the fridge into the wall. Model 3. Why is it not done yet? It's 2025. We're into the 2026 model year. You're not done with 25s yet. What's up with this? Small overlap. Okay. Part of this is down to the way that they acquire the vehicles and their limited bandwidth for doing the tests. I think the manufacturers can not necessarily pay for the test, but they can pay. I don't know if that might be the NHTSA, but they can pay to get the full battery done rather than wait for it to become as desired or whatever. But since their main customer is the insurance companies, they're going to go for what is more popular first, because that's what they need to know the data for. This one is eSIM is trending for a reason. I'm assuming the iPhone, because it just went eSIM worldwide. Previously it was only eSIM in the US. Holy crap, man, eSIM is so freaking annoying and crashing out. Already took 3 hours to transfer my data from my old phone. Yeah, my work phone was annoying as heck to transfer the eSIM, but my personal phones, boop, 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 seconds. I love it. But the work phone, I think it was part of how they have it set up. iPhone delivery, switch to eSIM. 17 Pro Max. I did like the conversion. It didn't take too long to convert a physical SIM into a eSIM. How to switch to eSIM when switching to a new iPhone. When you place the powered on new iPhone side by side, data transfer becomes possible, but at the time you'll be asked whether you to switch to eSIM and perform the transfer. If you switch and transfer, the physical SIM becomes invalid. I could have sworn I had one where it didn't invalidate. Well, this was an iPhone where it didn't invalidate the SIM. I moved the physical SIM over and took off the eSIM, and then the physical SIM started working again. No, I did an eSIM because I lost the phone. Found the phone, turned it back on. Then I had two for a moment. And then the eSIM turned itself off in favor of the physical SIM. But it might be because we didn't do a transfer. We just turned on another phone with the number. So yeah, as I suspected, it was all iPhone stuff. Let's go on. Florida man. Huh? Give you a update for that. What's that? Oh, give me a fake tea. Tea?
But no tea side.
Yeah, you're gonna pour it inside.
I don't want porridge.
You want to pour it? She brought me a toy teapot, so I gave her a vessel, and she didn't want to put tea in it. So, he did what? Oh, wow, that is quite an allegation. It's quite a conspiracy theory, but it is plausible. I can see that happening. Oh. Bold claims. They will require bold proof. Okay, so I don't need to open that one again later. But it is definitely politics, and we will definitely not need to discuss that one here because it's not the kind of politics that affects the stuff that we talk about. All right, so the next one, why is he on there? See, the trendings are always weird because you got to like sort why are they trending and the noise, and then if it's relevant to what we're discussing, or if it's just the algorithm thinking that, hey, you might want to look at this because people that you interact with are interested in these things here that just happened. What's that? A drink.
Yeah, I mean, there's some.
Oh, thank you.
It had rain.
This is delicious tea. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
and then my smoothie is still working in the back in my supermarket
A
car.
smoothie is still working in the back?
Yeah, and it's working beep beep and ding.
Beep, beep, ding, ding.
Down, and it and go down up.
Oh, you're using your
Down.
espresso maker.
Yeah, and go down up until it moving, till making and and I and my Mac can make calendar and I'm not vacuuming.
Oh, okay. Don't touch that screen. Uh-oh. Speaking of screens, this one's turning off on us. Can't have that. Oh, it locks and everything. And it's slowly losing power, so I can see why the speakerphone has been losing power all month. This thing just isn't doing what it used to do. Why? That's a problem for later. It's still got enough to keep on trucking. All right, I'm almost done sifting through this particular trending topic. Okay, so that one I don't know why it was trending. It didn't become clear. The next one, yes. So this one is the one about what we were going to talk about already, and this other one is just the Tesla Design Studio. I'll leave it open for now. Let's go to the next one on the list, and it might even be the same thing that he was talking about. It is. It totally is. So we'll leave his up for comparison, and we will paste and go. So this one, as I said, it comes to us from Tesla, but it's not just Tesla. So what this is, Tesla applied for and got their robotaxi approval for testing in Nevada. This doesn't allow them to operate robotaxi in Nevada, I don't believe, not for money, but it allows them to start testing and do a self-certification so they can start operating it as a paid service. And it says autonomous, so I think it's going to be closer to what we saw in Texas than what we saw in California. The other thing that was amusing about this, kind of cool, is how quickly it happened from when they applied for it. But sorry, Brian put something up I want to look at real quick. Stand by. All right, people are fighting with Brian now. I will leave that be and open the space back up. Lower the keyboard. Open the space back up. There we go. Sorry about that. All right, so continuing on. Self-certification and how quickly it was. Fully autonomous. Who knows if they'll have a safety monitor or not. All right, so this isn't the NSTHA one either. That one's coming up. So we'll leave that other guy's up, and we're not there yet. Tesla to redesign the interior and exterior door handles. Do I have that one? I do, but I skipped it. Whoops. All right, so on this one, on my Model S and on my current Model X, they had door handles and on the inside. And if you pulled on them, they would pop the electric latches. And if you pulled on them further, like you were panicking or they were stuck, it would release the mechanical latches. And the X doesn't have any exterior door handles. It's got some buttons. The S had the pop-out door handles. Really cool, really cool. Scared the mess out of me to have them again because I went through 6 of them, and on a car that only has 4 door handles. The 3 and the Y, they work. I don't like their door handles at all. Cybertruck door handle. It doesn't have any door handles. It has buttons under the windows. They work for me. I would prefer the self-presenting doors of the front doors of the Model X, but on all 4 doors, that would be nice. But there's a new regulation in China that says that you can no longer have flush-mounted door handles, and that doesn't just affect Tesla; it affects everybody because everybody was going for that extra few percentage points of anti-drag and high-tech look and sleek styling and so on and so forth. Everything you get with flush-mounted door handles. And I'm guessing that they weren't all up to snuff because why else would China take the time to make a law that says you can't have this thing that actually saves energy in a country that is starving for energy? So the news about it is that Tesla is affected by this and that they've got something cool coming, according to Franz. Somebody suggested something like, I don't know if it's a Porsche or a Lamborghini, and he smiles knowingly. We'll see what actually happens with that. The other one on here on the sidebar about the MID certified wall connector is a basically the utility grade meter on the meter inside of the wall connector there. So that way, if you have a company car in Europe style company car, not US style company car, where they give you a car and fuel, it allows them to accurately reimburse you for your home electricity fueling your company car. Previously, they had various schemes that somebody lost out, either the company or you, or flip-floppity between you and the company, depending on your driving that month. Or, in some cases, I guess particularly for governments that give company cars, it made it much more difficult to the point where you couldn't select certain cars because they weren't compliant with the strictness that you need for a government expenditure like that. So now that they are MID certified, this is good for those regions that need and can buy this thing. Reduces summon energy standby. That's not, I mean, it's good, but it's not something we would discuss here. So the ambitious plan for road taxi is improving. So Nevada's green light. In the email exchange with Sawyer Merritt, the Nevada DMV confirmed that Tesla's application for testing Registry certification was submitted in September on the 3rd and then processed and approved by the Office of Business Licensing on September 10th. So one business week, or one actual week. Let's see, September 3rd. So one actual week. And according to DMV, the physical autonomous vehicle license plates and the regulatory certificates were sent to Tesla on the same day. So on the 10th, they approved them and dropped them in the courier, either mail, FedEx, or UPS, basically. The registry certificates were sent on the same day, allowing Tesla to begin accumulating real-world miles in the Silver State. So this is going to change the approval they already have to do autonomous testing to doing robotaxi testing, basically, which is cool to see. I'm curious if they have requested that Tesla do the purple lights that Mercedes requested be available, so that you can know if the car is in autonomous mode or not. I suspect that one, they didn't require, and two, Tesla's not interested in indicating if the car is in autonomous mode or not. One, because they assume that they'll all be in autonomous mode eventually, and two, while Mercedes wants it, same thing with me and the bus emergency stop. The mind immediately goes to just nefarious things. Not that I would want to use them. Like, they go in a defensive manner against, like, oh boy, telling people what I'm doing here, and not just like turning left and right, telling people what I'm doing, but like, oof. The path to public roads. This is not a green light for Tesla to start offering public rides yet. The initial approval is for testing purposes and offers a path for Tesla to obtain the final certifications for operations. The next and final step is a self-certification for operations with the Nevada DMV. This self-certification process, once reviewed and approved, would grant Tesla a certificate of compliance for operations. This is the final item that would unlock driverless service for the public in Nevada, similar to one currently operating in Austin, where the vehicles have no one in the driver's seat. It'll be up to Tesla to include a safety monitor or driver for their own testing requirements, but they may be slowly moving away from that as more confidence is gained with more miles on the latest builds of Robotaxi's FSD. So I suspect that what we'll see, FSD 14 will come out. It'll go through testing. Austin and California will use it with theirs, and then Tesla will exit the testing phase in Nevada, and then this will be their first market with no safety rider. This is my prediction, suspicion, what I think will happen, basically. And it gets some headlines, it gets the miles, gets the testing, and pushes the mission forward to the autonomous future. So I think that's how they'll do it. Coming soon, Tesla improves automatic emergency braking with updates. I guess we can click on that one. Click here. Click here. Okay, so I'd lost the mouse for a minute. That's what that was. Building on the Austin blueprint, securing approval in another state is a big development for Robotaxi. It demonstrates that Tesla's model for deploying autonomous fleet is scalable and can navigate the regulatory frameworks of different states. Nevada is a logical next step too, being home to Tesla's Nevada Gigafactory and Semifactory, and having a long history of being at the forefront of autonomous vehicle legislation, and they have been. One of Tesla's existing permits was here first, and Uber and Waymo and everybody who's in the field has had a Nevada permit at some level. The reason you didn't see much out of Teslas is because of the reporting requirements, and they chose to report nothing. So there were a couple of years they had like 2 miles on the clock. And then of course during the Paint It Black incident, they had all of that one. The whole 16 miles were in there. Controversial as they were. The rollout to Nevada will be part of a slow, deliberate, and strategic rollout of robotaxi network. And with each new state that comes online, Tesla gathers invaluable data, experience building everything they've learned at Austin and the Bay Area. So with this one, yeah, they get to learn more places and everything, but I think really is going through the paperwork is the benefit for them. They learn to do more paperwork, and then they can point at the next place and say, look, we've got 3 states already. Why not here? Or what's so special about this XYZ item? Surely this can be worked around or worked through, worked with, or we can update the software to make you happy. Whatever the case may be. Nevada approval is more than just a simple permit. It's a sign that Tesla is actively working with with states to expand the robotaxi network. We may see in the next states, Arizona and Florida coming online very soon. I suspect Arizona will be next, simply because just like California, they already had a permit there, and Nevada too. I don't know that they had a permit in Texas, but they got in pretty quick when everybody else was coming into Texas as well. So it's not really that big a deal. I mean, it's a huge thing, but it's not really that big. It is a big thing, but I'm trying to articulate what I meant there. But basically, it was a foregone conclusion that they would get a Texas permit. Let's say that. They would have had to try to screw it up. Reload the worker cannot reconnect to what? Looks like I had a network drive go down, at least as far as the Mac is concerned. The Mac always thinks the drive is down. Been doing it less since I changed the network cards out, but it still always assumes that my system is missing, which is annoying. Super annoying when it won't go back. Connect. Not there, goofball. Thank you. Sticking with the they're all related. So let's go back to the NHTSA one they have at the top here. So I'll paste it in. Again, this is aimed at Tesla, but affects more. Tesla drivers going global, just a matter of staying tuned. Oh, diners. Okay, that's kind of cool. I'd like to know more about that. Tesla scores a win as the NHTSA adopts performance-based rules for autonomous vehicles. So basically, the NHTSA was looking at requiring specific hardware and specific items to get their blessing for autonomous vehicles, and not just for Tesla, but for others as well. They have come to their senses and instead prescribed outcomes, so you can meet the outcomes however you want. So instead of saying you must have a millimeter LiDAR wave at X nanometers, they instead say, hey, you must be able to detect a pedestrian 400 yards out, and I guess they probably would have done it in meters even for them. So 400 meters out, you can detect a pedestrian, and you must be able to stop this fast, be able to turn like this, and they prescribe the outcome that you need to pass, rather than saying, trying to pick winners and losers in technology, because watch, you say, all right, you must have this variety of LiDAR, and then some HD radar comes out and nobody can use it because they must have LiDAR and the HD radar is better. Or as Tesla's been assuring us, is that the cameras only is fine. And not just Tesla, but they were the first publicly to come out and say, yeah, we don't need all this extra goop on the car. And then some of the others said, yeah, we've been looking at this too, and we're going to do it that way too. Huh? And so everybody now benefits from this. So to get your autonomy certification, as they work towards doing this, they're prescribing outcomes, which is good. So let's see. NHTSA has announced that its plan to modernize the decades-old FMVSS, the Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standards, for autonomous vehicles is finally in progress. While this is important for the entire industry, it's a massive validation of Tesla's long-held belief in vision-based autonomy. For years, the regulatory hurdle for Tesla has been the prescriptive nature of existing autonomous safety rules. So it was kind of like they were doing for us as humans, like, hey, the car must have 2 mirrors, one outside the vehicle, and then another one either inside the vehicle or on the other side of the vehicle. Monaco. Welcome back, baby. How was your nap? Oh, you too? You excited? You're so excited. Are you done with me already? You want to talk to me, or you want to get your silicone ducks? Oh, you want the unicorn? You want the unicorn? Sorry. So, yeah. So now instead of saying, it must have this, must have that, or like when they were trying to get rid of Mr. Tucker and his car, oh, you can't have 3 headlights because this. And the third headlight can't move. It needs to be fixed because we say so. The third headlight became a requirement for motorcycle cars, autocycles, basically, where if it's a car, but it's a motorcycle because it doesn't have 4 wheels, and so they had to have 3 headlights, and it couldn't move. But a regular car, I believe, couldn't have 3 headlights, especially if one moved. A regulatory capture, right? So they ended the prescriptive rules, and now they're going for performance versus hardware, which the article says, validates vision only. I don't know that it does that. It just makes it so that vision only is not impossible. So as long as it can meet whatever the requirements are, it's fine. Rather than saying, like I said, choosing a technological winner, which would be bad for all of us, especially as slowly as these things move and adjust and change. Look at how Europe's able to switch to camera mirrors, and we cannot, even though we no, I was gonna say, even though we can have good headlights, we can't even have good headlights. Look how long it took us to get matrix headlights, and then it took a whole law, not even related to them, to allow us to get the matrix headlights. So, yeah.
America is in the middle of an innovation race with China, and the stakes couldn't be higher. That's why we're unveiling a new automated vehicle framework as part of our DOT's innovation agenda. Now, this framework, it has 3 key components. Number 1, prioritize safety. Number 2, unleash innovation. And number 3, enable commercial deployment. So we're announcing 2 initial steps in this framework today. First, when it comes to safety, we've heard from industry partners the crash reporting requirements for automated vehicles, It's way too expensive, way too costly. But these reports help DOT monitor road safety. So to balance these concerns, we've streamlined the process in AV crash reporting to sharpen the data while removing the redundancies. We'll have much more to share on this in the coming months. The long-term goal here is to move us closer to a single national standard. We don't want 50 states with 50 standards. We want one national standard for AVs. Second, we're cutting the unnecessary red tape. Right now, vehicles made outside the country qualify for a quick exemption process. Meanwhile, AVs made right here in America have to deal with a stringent permitting process. This makes zero sense. Under this administration, we put America first. We've now fixed this by expanding the AV exemption program so domestic vehicles, they're included. This will encourage innovation right here at home. America has always been the home of innovators, from the Wright brothers to the first astronauts on the moon. Our nation has always been at the cutting edge of transportation technology. Innovation is one of my top priorities, and I can't wait to share more about how the DOT is bringing about the golden age of transportation.
Now, if we can get you out of my taxes, that'd be great too. Meaning that they want to do the extra fee on top of what you already do for your states for the EVs on taxes. So, no thank you to that part, simply because the way they're doing it is so far not going to be fair, not intended to be fair. But I do like these changes for the AV testing and reporting. Okay. What is this? Oh, I've done it again. I wasn't paying attention to the tablet and it locked. All right. Oh, it didn't lock. It just did the screen thingy. It almost locked. So, Model X light show, Trans-Siberian Orchestra Easter egg. Yeah. Is this an old article or did they add it back to the new car? Because mine's been doing this forever. Nope, 2020. Like I said, mine's been doing this forever. Okay, so we've done the NHTSA, and that wasn't actually the next item in the notebook. It was further down. So, the Robotaxi Nevada. And then this one is a little more Tesla focused, but still works for everybody. So we've seen the Tesla driverless delivery, where the car drove from Austin to its new owner, and that was pretty impressive. Now, completely empty, no safety driver, no monitor, nothing, except for the film crew on the outside. Now they've got a new take on this. They've invited some owners to be the first to experience what we're assuming is going to be autonomous rides from wherever they are in Austin to the factory to pick up their Model Ys. I guess it'd be Model Y or Cybertruck, but they're called out Model Ys. And the reason we think that they'll be autonomous is since the vehicle has done the empty rides to the customer, what would be different and kind of cool based on the way that they've framed the invitations is that they seeming like they might be without safety monitor in the robotaxi to pick up the owner to go get their new Model Y. It's not a guarantee. It could be vaguely worded, or it is vaguely worded, and it could be taken a different way instead. Let me check on the battery for this place here. We're at 98%. We're only pulling in 63 watts. 0% chance of rain. All right, let's go ahead and switch over to battery. Okay. Oh, yeah, the perfect timing. And we got to 99% as I made the switch, even with only 60 watts coming in. All right, so the invitation is being sent to some customers in vicinity of Giga Texas and is offering an exclusive opportunity to take a robotaxi ride to Giga Texas Delivery Center to receive the new vehicle. The hints are: be among the first to take an autonomous ride in robotaxi at the end of September. You and your family will have the exclusive opportunity to experience our latest technology, followed by your Model Y pickup. Okay, so definitely just Model Y. Cybertruck should be in there. But I guess if Cybertruck doesn't do some of the stuff, it makes sense as well. But anyway, the part that tells us that something is different is it says your family, unless your family is 3 people or less and all above the age of 13, then that's not today's robotaxi, because today's robotaxi is up to 3 people and up to starting at 13 years of age with adult supervision. So the speculation is that the nuclear family is 4 people, right? Or was it 4.5 people, 3.5 people, whatever. It's more than 3, and Mr. Repopulate the Earth or whatever. You're gonna expect that more people are gonna have more than one kid to pull it along, and not all of them will be 13 years of age or older. So exclusive, all this, that, and the other makes it sound like this is going to be the next step for the robotaxi. What's the next step? Removing the safety driver, right? Or increasing the number of riders. However, with the safety driver, to go beyond 3 in the Model Y, you can't do that unless the Model Y L is going to be a robotaxi and brought here as a robotaxi. And that's not going to happen anytime soon. So it sounds like the safety driver's coming out of the car. The key phrases are be among the first. And Tesla's been operating its robotaxi for several months, so you wouldn't really be among the first at that point, would you? It's begun opening up to the public. Using the word autonomous among the first seems to hint to something more than what Tesla's already doing in Austin. It's potentially hinting at the next phase of the robotaxi program. And that aligns with Tesla's aggressive timelines for removing the human safety drivers safety monitors. They're not in the driver's seat, they're not drivers. From the vehicles by the end of the year. The event could be carefully controlled environment. This event could be the carefully controlled environment that Tesla has been looking for to debut its next step in the robotaxi program, potentially leveraging its FSD version 14. Absolutely. Hopefully it shows up before then, but it's only a couple days away, so what's 10 more days, right? Actually, less than 10 more days, because again, we're running out of time on the incentive and the quarter. There's more here. Review your financing offer. The Model Y financing is approved for your officer financing tasks. You're invited to Giga Texas, be among the first, blah, blah, blah. Rides are limited. Reply yes to confirm you would like to attend. The advantages of showing buyers robotaxi. 2 delivery methods, car to human and human to car. And then the NHTSA. So now, let's go on to the next one. Ow. Ow, Charlie. Charlie bit my finger. All right, so we did the NHTSA, and the final item we've got in the notebook. It sounds exclusively Tesla, but it's not, because I'm going to turn it into a safety thing. Tesla influencers tried Elon Musk's coast-to-coast self-driving and crashed before 60 miles. And so Fred took a kind of a sour take on this. I partially agree with him. A duo of shareholder influencers tried to complete Tesla's, Elon Musk's coast-to-coast self-driving ride that he claimed Tesla would be able to complete in 2017, and they crashed before making it 60 miles. In 2016, blah, blah. Here we are in 2025, and Tesla never made that drive, despite many missed autonomous driving goals. Many Tesla shareholders believe, blah, blah. Two of these shareholders came on, attempted to undertake the drive themselves from San Diego to Jacksonville. That's not really quite... The coast to coast is LA to New York, or New York to LA. But that might just be for cannonball runs. I don't know. It might also be for Guinness. Either way, it would have been more than the company has done, so I give them props for that. However, they crashed. So the part that Fred is on them for, and that I agree with, is that it's not an autonomous car. You are the driver. You see something, don't wait for it to see what it's going to do. If you see something you know it has trouble with, or you're not sure that it can handle, you do it. Otherwise, if you don't do it, you're going to stand a chance to crash. So here we go. This one I'm going to open up and watch later. But here's the video clip. They're riding along. This guy sees something in the road. He leans in and boom! They hit something on the road and the car jumps and it crushes some stuff underneath the car and I want to say some suspension components, and it also has all kinds of lights on the screen now. So you notice his hands are on the wheel, and then they get closer, but it's too late, and they crash. So when he saw the guy lean up, it's probably he should have cued in that something was not right and been on the brakes or been steering, or I can see. There's nobody like in his blind spot, so he could have swerved a little bit. I'm surprised the car didn't swerve because mine would have. I don't see a stalk on there, so it's a hardware 4. Mine is not a hardware 4. Is that a hardware 4? It looks like a Highland, but I don't think it is. I think it's a pre-Highland because. Nope, there it is. It's flashing red. It's flashing red at the screen and everything. So yeah, it's a Highland. And it might be thumping to the music for all I know. It might not be flashing because it thinks something is up. But anyway, so that's Highland. So it's got a hardware 4, and I think mine might have tried to go around that. But if it wasn't already going around it by the time I felt that it was time to go around it, then I would take care of it. Again, it's. Well, actually, I don't even know this is a Highland. It could be a Model Y. I think it's a Highland because... Oh, no, it's a Model Y. Okay. So it's a Juniper was the next question. I was looking for the speaker grills that you get on a Model 3, and they were not there. I don't know if that's a Juniper or not. Either way, the Model X still sits a little bit higher than the Model Y and the Model 3. When people were complaining about phantom braking, mine was not doing anywhere near the kind of stuff that other people's cars were doing, and I suspect it had a height advantage or something. Anyway, so no matter what level of autonomy your car has, whether it be a Tesla or just lane keep, pay attention to the road, be the driver, be ready to take over. Don't crash your car. Don't let your car crash itself. That's all I gotta say on that one. Let's see the top comment. That wasn't there when I was reading it. Because I was reading this one when it came out. Top comment by Leonard Bates. But it won't matter, at least in the near future, or at least in the near term. We now live in a world where a group of people can create a synthetic reality using online advocacy and defend against all evidence showing it was a scam. In this case, there are enough Tesla shareholders investing on their faith that empirical evidence, like this video is not empirical evidence, unless you're trying to say it's not yet autonomous, which the company itself warns you when you turn on the feature. The faith-based snake handlers in Appalachia will come a time when your faith meets reality-based snake that puts you in the hospital. Only if you don't use it as prescribed. It is an assistance feature. Yeah, there is robotaxi and all that, but this is not that. And so worst case is, like as Fred said, they were like 2% of the drive. They could have just restarted, or just put a counter for how many times they did have to take over, or how many times they took over and they weren't sure if they needed to, and then put the video and then let the world decide or whatever. But what they did there was reckless, not taking control of the car with obvious debris on the road. Personally, with the road looking like that, I would have already had an in FSD, and I would have already signaled for the car to get over if it wasn't getting over when I wanted it to. And if it caught me by surprise, like it caught the passenger by surprise, then I would have either been on the brakes or been getting over in the lane or out of the lane from that point, not what we saw there. I will watch the whole video and see if this is more to it, but the fact of the matter is that they crashed and they didn't need to. But I'm curious if they were saying anything, like if the driver saw it the whole time and just thought it would be one of those times where it does the right thing. But maybe it's because I only have one car and it's, pushing 8 years old and I don't want to lose it because it can't be replaced. Maybe I'm not as adventurous as I once was. I don't know. As an Appalachian, I salute your analogy. Financial markets and society in general have become untethered from empirical reality. The age of enlightenment is belly button. The age of enlightenment is truly over. Blah blah blah. Faith and feudalism minus the loots and chivalry. Anyway, with that, I will thank all of our channel members for your monetary contributions to help keep this thing online. I want to thank all of you guys for spending 3 hours with me today, and the girls. We appreciate it, and that also helps keep us online, because if there's nobody watching, then why do it? But I'd love to get on here and share with you all, and I want to thank you to our guest speaker and our guest speakers. We had a couple today, and do all the things, hit the heart, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe, hit the bells, all that. And we will catch you on the flip side. Thank you.